welcome to today's program, everybody. This is tuned in live, 3:30 on the count. Well, just about 3:30. I sent a message out to my buddy Mike, co-host. Hopefully he'll be in here today. Got something very touchy to talk about. If you guys want to bring in your input on what we'll be talking about today, links to our Discord are on our Facebook page. They are definitely in our description of our YouTube channel. If not the description section of the video itself, just check out the channel itself under the updates and all that stuff. Well, the about section of our YouTube, especially over on Twitch. There is a link below if you want to join in. Link below for our Discord. Hop on in, and we'll get to talking. But before anything, I want to go ahead and do a quick little thing to a Minnesota stalker out there who is very obsessed with grown men on the internet. A man who is very obsessed with trying to gain the attention of several people who don't give a shit about him. This one's for you, buddy. He'll listen to this and he'll be like, oh, he's talking about me. Yeah, of course I'm talking about you, dude. This guy, I talked about him in the past before. He's a loner. Well, he's married. He's got some kind of something for a fucking wife, you know? And she allows him to continue this behavior of attacking and harassing grown men online. This is somebody who he claims to be a podcaster, right? This dude, he pays to put his garbage on several different platforms. You know, he's on iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com, even put it on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere he could, you know. He pays to put his garbage on these platforms in hopes to make money off them, right? But the thing is, he claims he's a podcaster. He claims he's this brilliant podcaster, like he's the next Howard Stern of fucking social media and shit. Nobody gives a fuck about him. This is a guy that repeats himself every single day. He talks about grown-ass people every single day. The same fucking people, right? So he goes after my man. Hold on. I'm live now. If you guys check it out or join. So this dude, he goes after my buddy, Jeff Hagee of the Jeff Hagee Show. He's always talking about him. He's always bringing him up in his streams and shit, his videos and all that stuff. And Jeff is just like, dude, go the fuck away. Leave me the fuck alone, dude. What the hell's your problem? Looking for attention, that's all it is. This guy, he'll sit there and he'll talk about, you know, these grown-ass white boys, these grown-ass white men living in mom's basement, streaming, playing video games, streaming them to the dumbass white boys with the mindset of a 15-year-old. I'm like, dude, give it the fuck up. How many adults out here play video games as a hobby? Video games has become it's become the very norm of our society now. Video games are equivalent to seeing a movie. The only thing with a video game is you're interacting. You're having fun with it. You know, you're interacting with other people. That's it. You don't like playing those type of video games? That's not your thing? Okay, so fucking what? Don't fucking knock what other people are fucking doing, you know? You sit there and be like, my type of video game is the arcade back in the day where you put the quarter in and you play a game of Pac-Man and stuff and you get to play the Pong tables, and that's fine too. I enjoy playing those games as well. But you want to sit there and you want to try to insult people, but we're all just laughing at you. It's fucking sad. You know, you want to sit there and try to insult people for a hobby that, you know, everybody enjoys, but you want to sit there and stuff and And you're like, oh, this dumbass white boy, the Jeff Hagee show. Like, dude, my boy, he don't give a fuck about you, dude. Leave him alone. Leave me alone too. Like, I know this dude. He's mentioned me quite a few times as well. This dude, he is so fucking obsessed. I tell you, he's mentioned me for no fucking reason, and he'll mention my boy Jeff many a fucking times for no fucking reason. Let me message him in the Discord. I'm opening up about a certain stalker still talking about you. He's on his phone. I'm pretty sure, Jeff. I'm pretty sure if you're here, I know you're probably still here. You're probably listening and all. But yeah, this dude, he's still going at you. Meh. Hey, babe. Meh. Meh. Oh, meh. It's a sound effect she got from this TV show her and her daughter watched, The Amazing Adventures of Gumball. Meh. A funny story about that this morning. Like I look at this dude, his name is Jeffrey as well. I'm not going to mention his channel name because he don't need any shout outs. He don't believe in any shout outs. I look at him. Pretty sure my fiance will look at him and be like, meh, meh, meh. That's all this guy is. He's a meh. But yeah, we were sitting there this morning, my fiance, she had to get up for work. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, that's right. My fiance, she has a job too. I work overnights. There's nothing wrong with working overnights. It's a job. As long as you bring in some kind of income, to keep the household up and you're paying your bills and stuff, it's called a job. You sit there and you drive around in a fucking Uber, you're holding up wads of cash and shit. Hey, good for you. Guess what? A lot of us people still work too. We go out to work too. It may not be your type of job, but hey, we're still working. But in your eyes, hey, we're the dumbass 15-year-old white boys that sit there and stuff and sit there and play the video games and stream them to people and meh. But yeah, my fiance, she gets up in the morning, she goes to work, she's at work right now, and I'm sitting here. I go to work tonight, I work overnights, I make a good amount of money doing what I do. So yeah, we both work, we both have our hobbies, we did and stuff, so meh. But anyways, we're just sitting there this morning, we're talking, and that's her thing. That's her little thing. She's like, meh, meh. I was like, yeah, let's just have a conversation. We'll sit there and go, meh, meh. Went to UrbanDictionary.com. Like how many definitions of meh are there? There's my boy Jeff. There he is, dude. His highest viewed video is him cashing in all his pennies at the coin store. I know, man. This dude, I swear to you, like, once in a blue moon, I'll look over on his channel, and all you see is Jeff Hagee show, Jeff Hagee show. Like, dude, leave my boy alone. Like, nobody talks about you. He streams from his wife's sewing room. Hell, recently he was supposedly he was doing a lot of streams and videos from Myrtle Beach. And I'm like, who the hell's letting him walk around down there in Myrtle Beach? This fucking old white man, all he does is complain about the Jeff Hagee show and stuff. Like, here, I'll give you a prime example, man. I'll look it up for you. You don't even have to do it, man. Like, this shit is sad. It's really sad. I'm on this idiot's channel right now. Let's see. It's Myrtle Beach bike week. It's 36 minutes ago. Myrtle Beach last night. Talking about the Texas school shootings 17 hours ago, which is what I'm going to be doing. Oh, look, fifth video in. Dear Jeff Hagee, sorry, but no one cares about you anymore. Anus Breath. Before that, Papa Grizz. Like, how many Jeff Hagee videos are here? I see one. Even though some of the let's see, who needs Twitch when you have this on the strip in Myrtle Beach? And I think that one was about you too. And well, I think I was in there too. But dude, he even though there's a lot of Myrtle Beach videos and shit. Look, hot tub action waiting for Hagee rants. Oh, this dude's talking about getting into a fucking hot tub with you, dude. This fucking dude is gay for you, man. Yeah, free publicity. I'm not mentioning his name and all, but damn. This dude talking about wanting to get in a fucking hot tub with you and shit. Jesus. Come on in, Jeff Haggy. Come on in and stuff. And this dude's in a hot tub wearing a shirt and all that shit and stuff. Like, god damn. I swear, you know, this dude, you know, he wants the attention, but it's like being very subtle about it. Like, I don't give a shit if he mentions me. Like, yeah, no, look at the views, always under 5. Exactly, man. Like, I'll give you the view count right now. It's sad as shit. My search engine ain't working well. There we go. This dude's got like two channels, right? He's got 1.6 thousand subscribers. That's what he's stuck at. Look at this. From today on out, 4 views, 10 views, 17, 20, 23, 61. Oh, that's his highest right there because he's talking about Papa Grizz 56. Of course, he's going to get that much. 15, 15, 15, 17, 20, 11, 19, 20, 13, 6, 36. Oh, there's another spike in the view count right there. 22, 19, 41. Oh, a little bit more of a spike. 23, 19, 13, 20. Jesus Christ. His biggest, get this, dude. 8 days ago from Myrtle Beach Bike Week, 364. Dude, you're lucky to get that many views right there. You are damn lucky. He's got 2,000 followers on Twitter. Literally nobody. Exactly, just like what, Jeff Tutorial. Wow. But like I say, you know, there's this grown-ass man, you know, he's in his 50s, 60s, or whatever. Dude wants to fucking stir up the pot, you know, like 7-year-old fucking YouTube drama with, the same people that he talked to, he talked about years ago. And it's like, nobody wants to talk to you, dude. Nobody wants to do anything with you, so, like, go away, you know? Man, I swear, it's... I know my boy Jeff, you know, when he goes and starts drinking and talk about him and all, I was like, I'm probably like a little bit more tame because I can sit here and just like laugh at him. Like, Jeff laughs at him all the fucking time. Like, it's sad that this guy, all he does, like, he has these supposed podcasts and he's got them on, I shit you not, several different platforms, you know, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. If I pull up my Spotify, right? All right, I'm pulling it up now on PC. If it'll let me load, I got so much shit open up. Who knows? The stream might fucking take a shit on me. If I search, okay, I'm gonna put his name in here. There it is, the podcast. He's got his own channel and everything. What was the last podcast he did? May 25th. Texas Massacre is one too many. If you scroll down, hey, look, penis breath versus cow shit and stuff. Random thoughts. I don't see. Here's one on Spotify, April 18th. Breaking news: Jeff Haggy is a card-carrying liberal. I know you get a kick out of that, bud. April 10th, the Jeff Haggy Show. A little update on my life Twitch. No one cares. Like, this shit is on Spotify. Like, how many views does this... You can't even tell how many views this shit gets, you know? Like, it's insane, man. You know, I don't even know how many followers this guy has. Jesus, like, Spotify, you know, you can't... You can friend people on Spotify, I know that. Dude puts his fucking shit out there on these fucking, you know, these networks. And it's like, who the hell is literally watching you on this shit? Who's watching you on Spotify? Who's watching you on iHeart? You know, who's watching you on iTunes? Nobody. Because nobody knows you're on there. Like, what do you expect to get out of there? You know, you put your stuff, you put your content up on these platforms, and depending on, you know, like the commercial breaks, stuff like that, how many views you get or how many listens you get or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, he ain't getting no money off of that. He's not making money off of that. He did a video yesterday. I caught wind of it when I was at work. You know, he's holding up a big wad of fucking cash. I think it's the one where he's talking about you. The last one he's talking about you. He's got a big wad of cash. He's like, this is my Uber money. This is my Uber money. Oh, okay. So you make money driving people around, wasting gas and shit. Like, that's what the dude does. I finally learned what his job is. He's a fucking Uber driver. He drives around in a car, you know, he picks people up, he has conversation with them. So of course he don't record that kind of stuff, you know, but he done told everybody what he does. He's a fucking Uber driver. Like, I know there's nothing wrong with that. People make money doing whatever they fucking do, but still, this dude's, he's fucking driving around, like, with the way gas prices are, I wouldn't be caught dead driving around doing Uber, Like, come on. $4.59 a gallon in Maryland right now is the average price of gas. $4.59 a gallon. And I was out near the airport the other day, right? And the Shell station at the airport, BWI, $5.09 for regular. Oh, like, Jesus fucking Christ. This shit is never ending. We're going to be like California paying $10 a gallon. That's like remember back in the fucking day when you can fake movie. Yeah, I know, the fake movie money. Yeah, that's another possibility too, hon. You can get a wad of cash off eBay or Amazon, fake movie money. Yeah, it's always possible. So yeah, it's possible he did that too. He bought a wad of fucking fake 20s and shit. He's like, oh, you look, I made $500. Yeah, that's to you. Even though I don't slurp my soda, I'm sorry, I drink my soda regularly. I don't do that kind of stupid shit like he does. That's all he does. The dude's a fucking disgusting pig. He'll sit there on some videos. He'll pull up to a drive-through like a Burger King or Taco Bell or something. And he'll sit there. He'll show the food on camera, and then he'll sit there and eat it and have all this fucking shit dripping down his chin. He'll have mayonnaise dripping down his chin. I'm like, dude, what dick did you suck just now? Like, wipe that shit off. Nobody wants to see a cum stain on your fucking shirt. That kind of thing. But yeah, my man, there's something definitely wrong with him. He thinks he's this big time Howard Stern podcaster, whatever. So it's like at this point, there's really no talking about him anymore. Really, like I haven't said anything about him in a while. But then I was like, you know what? Just to open up this show, let me talk about him a little bit. Because he still does his thing. You could ignore the fuck out of this guy for a year, not mention him. You could disappear off the face of the earth, right? This guy will mention you to the day he dies because he's an attention whore. That's all he is. He is a big attention whore. He does whatever he can possible to grab your attention. And when he does, he's hoping for that whiskey freak out or somebody to complain about him so he can get a chuckle off. And like, dude, we're laughing at you. We're laughing at you because from what I understand, this dude had a couple strokes in the past. My boy, I still don't know where the fuck he's at. He probably didn't get the message that we're live. My co-host Mike, he used to be on YouTube as Governor 8430, my boy. This dude, he hung around with this guy for a little while. They were doing a couple of like sports podcasts and stuff like that. But after that, I forgot what happened. So my boy, he ended up fucking with him real bad. And he ended up, of course, fucking with him to the point where this dude ended up having a fucking stroke or something. He was like, dude, motherfucker had a stroke because he's so obsessed with me and because I left and shit. I swear, this. Oh man, I'm pretty sure he'll sit there and listen to this and he'll be like, "Oh, that's not what happened. That's not what happened and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happened. I know the truth." So whatever. There he is. Where you been, boy? I'm waiting for you. I got the Discord open, man. If you ever want to join in, I don't know if you're busy or anything. But yeah, I was just talking about a certain someone there for a little bit, but he's still on his rampage of following our boy Jeff Hagee. He's still gay for the Jeff and all. He's still gay for him and stuff. That dude's a sad fucking case, I tell you. But yeah, today we're talking about our topic, the Uvalde school shootings. Oh, you're watching the rally in Bunker Hill. Oh, okay, that's right. You're dealing with that too. Yeah, let me know how that turns out there. Yeah, because you're watching that trucker rally. Yeah, that's going on today as well. So yeah, we're talking about school shootings today, especially the one in particular, the Texas school shooting, the Uvalde Elementary School, and this, just reading up on these kind of things. It's the saddest thing, and it's the most heartbreaking thing when you sit there and you read up on it, or you watch it, or you listen up on it. School shooting, like dozens of children are slaughtered every single day. dozens of children, innocent children, elementary school children, are slaughtered. Maybe not every day, but it happens. And the biggest thing of all is like it'll get its coverage, but then it'll get shoveled under the rug. It does. It's going good with good speeches, and I agree. It's sad some dumbass, slaughtered young kids. I know. It's just like what me and Jeff were talking about the other day. It's it's a democratic thing. It's definitely set up to be believed as a democratic staged event, and it's all to ban firearms. It's all to ban guns. Like every time there is a school shooting, right? Every time there's a school shooting, they always talk about the ban of assault rifles, the ban of weapons. Why hasn't it been done yet? Well, our Constitution protects it, but there's so many different outcomes out there that protects, firearms in general. The kid looked like he probably was with Antifa. Oh, trust me, I'm going to be talking about that little bastard as well, man. I mean, shit, Jeff, if you're still here, you're always welcome to hop into Discord, man. If you want to chat, we can have a double. Well, you have the whiskey. You'll have a whiskey freak out, and I'll be here to keep you tame or something. But yeah, if you ever want to hop in, anybody want to hop in, the VC is open to anybody. But yeah, you notice that a lot of these school shootings, they happen. And after they happen, some fucking Democrat will come in and say, this is why we gotta ban video games, we gotta ban violent movies, we gotta ban weapons, we gotta do this. So like you can do every fucking thing in your power to ban this and this and that. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. It never has worked. It's never going to work. I was talking to my future father-in-law. Was telling him about that kind of stuff the other day too, and we were talking about video games in general. Now, yeah, I have a passion for video games and all, but I can see two sides of the coin for it. You did see an article about how video games is making everyone violent. I laugh. Yeah, I know. See, video games in some minds, they try to say can warp your mind. Like if you play it long enough, depending on the type of video game, if you play a violent video game for so long and you start learning everything about it and how you can get away with this, how you can do this and do that, and then you could take it to the next stage, the next step up, reality. With that, I would say can be true in a sense, but it depends on the mentality of the person that takes it to that extent. Take a look at the kids that shot up Columbine. All right, let me look up the Columbine shooting real quick, because that was a big major factor right there when it came to blaming video games and blaming Marilyn Manson. Of anybody out there, they blame Marilyn Manson because the kids listen to Marilyn Manson. I mean, the type of music that came out in the 90s, 80s, whatever, whether it was the message in the music, whether it was how dark and open or how gritty the music was, they look at somebody like Marilyn Manson and they're like, no wonder these kids are violent. They listen to somebody like Marilyn Manson, like, okay, so you're going to blame a musician for a school shooting? And that's what Democrats do. That's what Democrats do. They will find a way to blame anybody and anything for something that happens. They always do. I guess it'd be a higher class of that because I play Call of Duty many times. Exactly. I played a lot of violent video games in my time, man. Columbine was off. Well, Doom had a big part in it, which I'm getting to. But they also tried to say that because these kids have Marilyn Manson posters up on their wall and shit, they're like, oh, no wonder he's violent. No wonder. Like this paragraph right here for the Columbine massacre. The police were slow to enter the school and were heavily criticized for not intervening during the shooting, which I'll get to that with this shooting here because it's kind of bullshit, which I'm seeing a pattern. Well, maybe not a pattern, but I can see where it starts out. The police were slow to enter. and they were very criticized for not intervening during the shooting, which maybe they should have, and there wouldn't have been so many lives taken. The incident resulted in the introduction of the immediate action rapid deployment tactic, which is used in active shooter situations. Columbine also resulted in the increased emphasis on school security with zero tolerance policies. Debates and moral panic were sparked over guns and gun controls. High school cliques, subcultures such as, people who dressed as goths, outcasts, and school bullying, as well as teenage use of pharmaceutical antidepressants, the internet, the violence in video games and movies. Ain't that some shit? So Columbine, they tried to make it as a mixture of different things. They look for something to blame, so it's not about these two kids who, just randomly came in and started shooting. They want to blame something. They want to control society. That's what the Democrats are all about, And I'm pretty sure there's some crooked Republicans in there too that will agree with this fucking same shit. But it's like, you got to look at the facts, though. Video game violence. Now, like I said, and I can agree with my future father-in-law about it. Like, it really depends on the mentality of the person that takes that to the next level. Like, you got to figure, nowadays, bullying is a big thing in schools. I'm not going to bring up fucking Ed Hubbard or anything, because that motherfucker's like, we got to stop bullying stuff. Yeah, it goes much deeper than just playing video games. Something happened to those shooters in their lives for this to even happen. It's just a really sad and horrible thing. It definitely did. Sandy Hook, that was another one too. The kids did that off video games. I thought, Sandy Hook was the one guy. I'll look that one up too. I don't think it was video games, but when it comes to anybody that shoots up a public school or anything like that, anybody that gets involved with that kind of mess, it usually ends up being something tragic or something happening to them in their life personally. Like, maybe their parents aren't giving them enough attention. Maybe their parents are being abusive. Maybe they're depressed and they don't want to open up, and they're afraid to open up and stuff like that. And there's a lot of kids out there that do get bullied in school. Bullying is a big thing. And these schools can sit and say that they're trying their damnedest to make sure that bullying doesn't continue, that bullying, that anybody's, any of these bullies in school, they'll get reprimanded or suspended or whatever. It's like, you can do everything you can. A bully is a bully, a bully is a bully because of something that goes on, that's happening in their life. They go home, maybe their dad is laying on the couch and he don't give two shits about the kid. And mom's in the kitchen, she don't give two shits about the kid. And then, Junior comes in, Dad, look what I did. And Dad is fucking whipping his belt off and beating him across the face and shit. And Mom comes in with the soldering iron and fucking scolds his asshole, shut or something like that. I'm not trying to be comical, but that's the kind of things that happen. How in the hell did an 18-year-old have the money to get... I was actually talking about that yesterday, hon. I was talking about that with Tim. And, oh my God, I was looking those kind of weapons up, right? And, damn, I forgot what the fuck he called them. There's certain types of M4s, but he had mentioned them. And they were like $2,000 to $3,000 a pop. He had two of them. I'm like, how the fuck did he have the money to buy two assault rifles, two AR, and of course AR is, shortened for assault rifle, yes, but if a firearm, if a certain weapon is labeled as an AR-15, it's an Armalite rifle. It's not an assault rifle. It's an Armalite. The gun is still an assault rifle, yes, but if it's named like John Deere AR-15, it's an Armalite rifle. That's what it is. Bullying comes from what kids see and things that have happened there in their lives. Yeah, he got paid by Soros, more likely, probably did. Yeah, but these kids, they go through such terrible things in their lives. Like, a lot of us grew up in that kind of shit, Like, some of us luckily didn't have that lifestyle growing up. and I feel for a lot that have. And like even during our high school years, there's like so many people that I know. I didn't even know that they were into drugs and shit, as early as like maybe like ninth or 10th grade, but high school is a real darkened time for a lot of kids, like you think school is hard, like school is getting you ready for the real life, it's getting you ready for reality. Like when you get out of school, school is like your protector. Once you get out of school, once you're done with school, you're on your own. They're not going to hold your hand throughout life. But then, as you're going through school, your body's going through changes. You're going through changes mentally. Like, you don't know how to perceive life in a way. You make friends, you lose friends, relationships become a thing. You become sexually active. A lot of different factors take place. And then there's kids that come from broken homes, where the parents are beating the shit out of each other. They're beating the shit out of the kids. Dad left for cigarettes when you were 2 years old and never fucking came back. Mom's a crack whore. She's selling her body on the fucking corner of Patapsco. It's a sad thing. It happens. Yeah, I know, hon. You were in a dark place as well. Me, I wouldn't say I was in a dark place. Like I had my depressing times and all. Like I went through just very little, but I wasn't as bad. That's why, like, when you look at, people like us who grew up in the 90s and graduated high school in the early 2000s and shit, like, we had a time where music and movies were, I guess I could say, they were kind of a drug. For me, video games was a drug. And I hate to say that because I love playing video games. I have a passion for video games, but video games are a drug. Now, you got to take that information and interpret it however you can or however you want. For me, video games was the good kind of drug because there's a lot of times, even to this day, I suffer from depression. It's not very bad, but there's a lot of times where, I was going through some hard shit and I was really depressed. Video games was my drug. I could sit there and I could play a game for 5-6 hours and it could cheer me up, or I could still feel the same, but I'm not as bad. I had people I was online with. I was playing games online with people. I was doing this. I was doing that. Yeah, addiction comes in many forms. It is. It's sad. Anything's an addiction. Cell phones. When you're on a cell phone checking social media, that's an addiction. When you can't get off a phone, when you can't step away from some kind of media or whatever, it's an addiction. Addiction comes in many different forms. Exactly. Video games and movies, you can learn things. You can learn things. Yeah, that's true. Video games teach kids, I forgot the word for it, motor skills. You could build up your motor skills. There's a lot of kids out there that are smart as shit who can whip through a video game, and of course they can grow up and become video game techs. They can grow up to, manufacture, produce, and make video games, that kind of thing. Those kind of things they could do something positive, or if you want to let them do something negative, always getting put in Facebook jail is another form. Yeah, me pissing some liberal off. Like I did recently when I posted a picture, and of course Facebook was like, we had to take that down because it's a form of harassment and terrorism and stuff, and I flagged it, and I declined with the decision because I said this kind of shit is put up on Facebook all the time, and then like not even an hour later, it's like, oh, we're sorry, we misunderstood, we took it down, we reinstated the picture, no harm done. Like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Facebook jail has good food too. Yeah, it does. Tell me about it. I spent a year in that motherfucker, in and out. I'm a repeat offender, but fuck it. Mark Zuckerberg's a fucking bitch. Silver Surfer, what's going on, bro? What's going on, man? Welcome to the show. They were talking about school shootings. Yeah, because if you want to hear me speak my opinion about school shootings and the Texas shooting, you're in the right place, man. Welcome. Next is TikTok jail. TikTok, I'm strictly going to use more likely for gameplay clips and stuff like that. I got that set up, so I'm not going to do any political thing. I'm not going to do anything political on TikTok to get that thing taken down. So, I mean, so far I got a lot of views and a lot of likes on it from all the clips that I put up there. So I'm keeping it tame right there. But yeah, moving back to the video games and how they want them to compare to the school shootings. Like, okay, the Columbine thing, you're just saying a quick hello, gotta do something. Okay, catch you next time, man. Good seeing you here. They want to blame Doom, the game Doom, because they said that these two kids, they had a virtual layout of the mapping of the game. Well, let's see. Okay, here it is in the article here. Violent video games were also blamed. Parents of some of the victims filed several unsuccessful lawsuits against video game manufacturers. Jared Block believes that their immersion into the virtual world best explains the massacre. While Brooks Brown disagrees that video games caused the massacre, he agrees elements of their plan came from the video games. Harris and Klebold, which were the shooters, they were both fans of games such as Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem, and Postal. Now, mind you, those early games, they were awesome as fuck. I played them all. I still own them to this day. That's what we had back in the days when, PC gaming was evolving. If you weren't too into, Nintendo or Super Nintendo's 2D side-scrolling adventures and shit like that, and you had a PC. PC was evolving before video game consoles, were evolving. You had 3D, textures and sprites and all that good stuff, when you go into the technical details. They were violent, yeah, but they were the most popular ones, because you got to look at it today. What's the most popular video game out there to date right now that sold a hell of a lot of video game titles, that sold a lot of consoles? What's the most popular games? Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, because violent video games sell in the market. They sell. That's what a lot of kids are playing nowadays. That's what a lot of parents are buying for their kids. In my case, I could see them as, I don't want to see them as a babysitter, but I know a lot of kids, I could see them as an antidepressant drug in a sense. Because, in real life, what happens in real life? You take somebody's life, it's a life changer. You're not going to go out there and do something stupid like, buy a firearm or steal a firearm from somebody. You're not going to go around, carjacking other citizens, drive around in the fucking city and shoot up cops and shit. If you do that, there's something completely fucked up in your head if you do that. A video game is a virtual escape. It's an escape from reality. Like, I come home from my job at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had a long day of work. I need an escape of some kind. I want to relax. You come home, you unwind, maybe your spouse is still at work or something, or maybe you live alone. Who knows? You get something to eat. You want to have some kind of escape, right? Your escape can be music, movies, or video games. Video games is the most popular escape when it comes to drugs, because you're interacting with it. It's virtual interaction. You're interacting with something, it's like, you can't do that kind of thing in real life, I hope you wouldn't do that thing in real life, but it's a virtual escape. And a lot of people go for that, they video games, you play a game like Call of Duty, you're shooting up bad guys and shit, you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you're doing these things that seem like fun, you're stealing vehicles and shit, you're running cops over, this and that. Like, does it simulate something in real life? I mean, it's fictional, but those kind of things can happen. But you got to figure, in real life, those kind of things have consequences too. Just like in a video game, you have those real life consequences mimicked in a video game. What happens when you run police over? What happens when you steal a car? Well, if you go on a violent rampage, yeah, as soon as you stop, the cops are going to stop you. You're going to get shot down. That's it. Game over. You just restart your life. You just restart back at a hospital or some shit. The only difference is, in real life, you don't come back to life, Jack. You only get one life. You're done for. You do something like that, that's it. You're gone. But yeah, something like that. When it comes to me talking about, games like Doom and Duke Nukem, going back on this. A file on Harris's computer read the massacre will be like the LA riots, the Oklahoma bombing, World War II, Vietnam, Duke, and Doom all mixed in together. Now, how fucked up is that statement right there? That on one of the shooter's PCs, he typed something up. It was like, this massacre is going to be like the LA riots, the Oklahoma bombing. Then he's going to put in there World War II and Vietnam. So you take away the video game mixture and you look at those two right there, World War II and Vietnam. So it's not just about video games and music. These two were they're so obsessed with violence. These two kids, they were very violent. They were obsessed with violence. Some people aren't taught consequences. That too, yeah. So you got these two that shoot up the school. These two they're very violent kids. They're brought up on it. Something happened in their life to where they look to violence and they see it as cool. that kind of thing, I'll be right back, guys.
Right back. Monday, it's an all-new, more phenomenal showdown.
We must begin before the time holes close.
Kim swept into a time hole.
Get him!
And ends up in the wildest west.
Well, I'll be.
With Zed's putty posse after her, the Rangers must cut Golder off at the time hole pass.
You're no match for us!
Watch the all-new Wild West Mighty Morphin Power Rangers starting Monday on Fox Kids.
Jingle bells, Batman smells.
Tis the season of giving and receiving, and Bart wants a present that will last forever.
You will not be getting a tattoo for Christmas.
Yeah, if you want one, you'll have to pay for it out of your own allowance.
All right.
How old are you?
21, sir.
Get in a chair.
But when Marge gets a look,
Mom, I thought you'd like it.
the gift's gotta go.
It's a simple routine involving lasers.
Cool.
The Simpsons.
Monday at 7, followed by Coach at 7:30 on Fox.
It's about good guys
My name is Gordy.
and bad guys.
Kidnap Gordy.
And a talking pig who becomes the nation's nuttiest new hero.
I'll get you.
And the world's richest tycoon, Gordy. Rated G.
And we're back, guys. You are watching Tune In Live. If you have not yet, if you're watching us on twitch.tv/Arrow with a name, hit that follow button, as well as on our YouTube channel. We're live on there as well, Arrow Entertainment. Hit that like and subscribe button. So, going back to what I was talking about, these two kids, I don't know them personally. I don't know their personal feelings. I don't know their personal lives. But I could tell that these two were very heavily into violence. If they're going to sit there and say that the Columbine Massacre was going to be like World War II and Vietnam, two of the greatest, bloodiest battles, wars in humanity, and they're going to compare this to that. World War II and Vietnam. World War II. You see, World War I, I think, was supposed to be the end of all wars or whatever, but then World War II came, and it was like very bloody, very dark for its time. And then Vietnam, of course, we lost Vietnam. All right, we should have never got involved with Vietnam. So that was the thing that the U.S. lost, should have never happened, ended up happening. Yeah, we lost Vietnam. But, for them to say it there and say that, and of course they incorporated two popular video games at the time, Duke Nukem and Doom. And then, of course, he said in his last journal entry, Harris wished to get a few extra frags on the scoreboard. A few extra frags on the scoreboard. So that just shows how fucked up these kids were to take something like that and think that their lives are a video game. They think this shit is fun. They think, okay, we're going to shoot a few people. They're going to come back to life. This ain't going to happen. That's how fucked up these kids were. That's how fucked up they were in their fucking head. After the massacre, it was alleged that Harris created Doom and Duke Nukem 3D levels resembling Columbine High School, but these were never found. That is what I was looking for right there when it came to those games. because the last time I looked up on it, the last time I read up on it, they were talking about that, how they used a map editor in those games to map out their path, their trajectory when it came to the school shooting, where they were going to go, what they were going to do, that kind of thing. But these were never found. I thought they were found. I remember seeing that too. Now, one other thing before I move on to Doom and Duke Nukem, this is what it was mentioned about with Marilyn Manson. In the late 90s, Marilyn Manson and his band established themselves as a household name and as one of the most controversial rock acts in music history. Their 2 albums releases prior to the massacre were both critical and commercial successes, and by the time of their Rock is Dead tour in 99, the frontman had become a culture war iconoclast and a rallying icon of alienated youth. Immediately after the massacre, a significant portion of blame was directed at the band and specifically at its outspoken frontman. In the weeks following the shootings, media reports about Harris and Klobuchar portrayed them and the Trenchcoat Mafia as part of a gothic cult. Is that where that fucking shit came from? Jesus Christ. The Trenchcoat Mafia. I swear to you, back around then in high school, everybody was wearing fucking trench coats. I thought maybe it was something because of the Matrix. I thought it was a Matrix thing, because Neo wore a fucking trench coat and they all wore trench coats. I thought that was the reason why. No, it was because of Marilyn Manson. The gothic scene, the gothic scene, everybody was wearing. We had somebody, my fiance and I, we knew somebody, a friend of ours in high school. His name was Ryan. He always fucking wore a trench coat. God damn. Every fucking day you see him. He's wearing a fucking trench coat. I thought it was a fucking Matrix thing or something. It became a fad, it was a fad, but then it faded off. It was a gothic fad, and people were wearing trench coats. I'm cool. I'm dressed in black. What do you got under there? Nothing. Just this big dick. Oh, where is the Trenchcoat Mafia? Is a gothic cult. Early media reports allege that the shooters were fans and wearing the group's t-shirts during the massacre. Although these claims were later proven to be false, news outlets continued to run a sensationalist stories with headlines such as Killers worshipped rock freak Manson and devil worshipping maniac told kids to kill. I don't remember in any of his music where he proclaimed kill, kill, kill. Maybe Howard Stern said that, but I don't remember hearing Marilyn Manson, in his subliminal his subliminal messages saying, kill, shoot up the school, kill, play Doom and Duke Nukem and shoot up the school, kill. I don't recall that kind of shit, Speculation in national media and among public led many to believe that Manson's music and imagery were the shooter's sole motivation, despite reports that revealed that the two were not big fans. Despite this, Marilyn Manson was widely criticized by religious, political, and entertainment industry figures under mountain pressure. In the days after Columbine, the group postponed their last 5 North American tours out of respect for the victims and their families. Manson published his response to these accusations in an opt piece in Rolling Stone magazine titled Columbine, Whose Fault Is It?, in which he castigated America's gun culture, the political influence of the National Rifle Association, and the media's irresponsible coverage, which he had said felicitated the placing of blame on a scapegoat. After concluding the European and Japanese legs of the tour on August 8th, the band withdrew from public view their work on the next album, which was 2000's Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death, as an artistic rebuttal to the allegations leveled against them. I like Marilyn Manson. I like his music. I haven't listened to all his songs. He has a very articulate style when it comes to his music, but listening to Marilyn Manson since high school, have I ever had an urge to go out there and kill somebody? Fuck no. Just because I like bands like Marilyn Manson and Korn and Limp Bizkit, you know, and Deftones and all these bands that have come out, you know, in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Do I feel like going out and breaking shit? Fuck no. If anything, during our high school years, a lot of that music was an escape from that reality that we were suffering. Like, if you ask people today and they bring up bands like Stained or Korn or Metallica or any of those bands that came out in that time period where a lot of us, now for you young kiddies out there that were born after the 2000s, a lot of you kiddies, you know, your parents, a lot of your parents did suffer from depression and shit. We did go through a lot of stuff. But you know what saved us, and for the big part of what saved us, was music. Music was a big thing that, you know, saved us mentally inside because music spoke to us. You know, the lyrics in these songs, these artists had a way of communicating with us because a lot of these music artists, you know, they grew up, they had that kind of lifestyle as well. You know, a lot of these artists, you know, they were on drugs, they were drinking, they had abusive parents, they grew up with no parents, you know, they grew up in the ruts of a fucking, you know, a ghetto, you know, and then they made it big, you know, they had, you know, they make these records and they make it big and all, but look at where these people start out as, you know, and they put it in their music. Take a look at David Draymond from Disturbed. Their third album, their third album, 10,000 Fists. Was it that one? No, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. It was their fourth album, Indestructible. They had a song on there, Inside the Fire. And the story behind that song was David Draymond's girlfriend, I think at the time or many years before that, committed suicide. That's what the song's about. And there's even a disclaimer in the music video where he's talking about that, you know, suicide, if you know somebody, that kind of thing. A lot of music that we've listened to back in the day, it may seem dark to some people today. Like today, you got mumble rap and pop bullshit that are all cheery, like, you know, that kind of dumb shit, you know? It's all stupid, cheery bullshit nowadays. And then you got dumb bitches that are singing about their wet-ass pussies and shit. Like, that's what 5-year-olds need to learn about. They need to learn about how wet my pussy is. Like, Jesus Christ. So, you kids will never understand Little Kim. You'll never understand Missy Elliott. You know, you'll never understand those kind of, you know, messages from back in the day. You'll never understand what it meant, what NWA meant by fuck the police. You'll never understand that kind of shit. You'll make up your own things nowadays. I'm waiting for the next song to come out from some mumble rap motherfucker saying, yo, I'm a toaster. I don't identify as a male, yo. Yeah, Fruit Loop songs nowadays. They are. You got NWA back in the day singing fuck the police, and they had a reason for it. You know, even though today you still have that issue where you got a bunch of crooked police that will pull over or stop or harass innocent, you know, black bystanders and shit. You know, they'll harass them. We still have that to this day. Back then, oh my God, it was fucking horrible in the 80s and the 90s, man. It was very horrible to be a black man in the 90s, you know, without a cop, you know, harassing you, without a cop, you know, coming at you and saying, what are you doing here, motherfucker? You know, that kind of thing. I mean, it's like you still have it today. It's not as bad as people want, you know, to think it is, but there are still crooked cops out there. You know, not all cops are bad, you know, but you still got that kind of thing today. You know, today's music doesn't have that appeal of what we grew up on. You know, because music is a reflection of life. It's a reflection of our lives, everybody's lives. Whoever makes the music, it's a reflection of who they are, and they're getting it out there. And then people like us, we grew up on that music because it was a reflection of us, of what we were going through. And without this music, without listening to the song, and knowing that somebody else out there shares our pain, and has gone through that same suffering that we have gone through. We understand. It became our national anthems. You know, you could be somebody who loves the fuck out of Korn, and your favorite song is Falling Away From Me. You know, that could be your favorite song. There could be a special message in there where you're like, this song saved me. Look at Linkin Park. Look at their first album, Hybrid Theory. Awesome fucking album. Their best album ever. Linkin Park was one of those bands that just broke out with In the End and Paper Cut and Runaway and Crawling. You know, that was one band. Like, if you listen to those songs, if you really sit and listen to those songs, you can hear the subliminal messages in those songs. That's a lot of stuff that what we all went through growing up. You know, that kind of music, that's what helped us get through our high school years. That's what helped us grow up. You know, a lot of us, we didn't go out there and pick up a gun or pick up a knife and rob a fucking filling station and shit, or rob a bank or whatever. Yes, sadly, a lot of us, well, maybe not a lot of us, but some of us, you know, went to drugs and shit. But luckily, a lot of those people, you know, they've gotten out of that. You know, they seeked help. You know, they've gotten better. And then you got some people that, you know, just chose to continue going in that downward spiral, and where are they at now, you know? Let me tell you, depression can be a real fucking killer. I know a couple people that killed themselves, you know? It's no fun. But going back to this article, you know, they blame Marilyn Manson for this shit. Like, you know, it's music. It's music. It's a music artist making money, you know? He's got a message out there. But are they at fault for how certain individuals take that message and percept it in a different way? That's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. These two kids were fucked in the head completely when they did this shit. They were fucked in the head. You know, to say that the Columbine massacre was going to be like World War II and Vietnam and a few other things mixed in all together. There was definitely something wrong with those two individuals. When it came to video games like Doom, they were avid fans of the game, especially Doom. Harris said that the massacre, it was going to be like Doom. He also wrote, I must not be sidetracked by my feelings of sympathy, so I will force myself to believe that everyone is just another monster from Doom. In Harris's yearbook, Klebold wrote, I find a similarity between people and Doom zombies. Harris named his shotgun Arlene after the character in the Doom novels. The Tech 9 Klebold used resembled an AB-10, a weapon from the Doom novels that Harris referenced several times. Harris spent a great deal of time creating a large wad named Tier, German for animal, and a song by Rammstein, of course, calling it his life's work. The wad, it's a file. It's a map file for the video game. It's for a map editor of Doom. It was uploaded to the Columbine school computer and to AOL shortly before the attack, but appears to have been lost. That's how fucked up these kids are. You're comparing real life to a video game like that. I don't even fucking do that shit. No, anybody who does that, when you compare today's standards to Call of Duty, you're fucked in the head royally. You're completely fucked in the head. You're very fucking sick. You're a sick individual. Anybody who picks up a gun and starts going on a rampage at a fucking elementary school, you're completely fucked in the head. I have no sympathy for you. Even if you were to spend years upon years in prison, you deserve to be raped and fucking stabbed, you know? Same thing with Duke Nukem 3D here. The other game mentioned specifically by Harris for what the massacre would be like was Duke Nukem 3D. The game had pipe bombs, and one of the enemies is a pig cop, which is true. Brooks Brown wrote that the pipe bombs were set in the halls of the school with the intention of causing a chain reaction, because that's what happens in Duke Nukem 3D. Brown also wrote that they shot wildly because it works in Duke Nukem 3D. So this is an example of what people will sit there and say, this is why video games should be outlawed. This is why, you know, kids shouldn't be playing video games. But the thing is, out of how many kids in America today play video games, and out of that percentage, how many of those kids are going through something fucked up, extremely fucked up in their life, to be considered this fucked up, to take something as interactive media and say, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. You know, like Grand Theft Auto. Okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to smack a bitch up. I'm going to rob her blind. Then I'm going to walk up the street, steal somebody's car, and I'm going to go rob a police station. I'm going to grab a gun. I'm going to go crash this into a school building and shoot it up. Like, how many kids out there do you know would do something like that? I mean, you got to think realistically, you know, before you even get so far. And when you look at it now, you know, with how Columbine went down and how this school shooting went down, I'll tell you how far it could have gotten and why it could have gotten that far and how fucked up the whole situation was. But Columbine was one of those that put this kind of thing on the map. You know, like it was a real bad tragedy, just like Virginia Tech, a lot of other schools since then, like Sandy Hook. Let me bring up the Sandy Hook thing. Okay, the Sandy Hook Elementary School. I was working the day this happened, and I was listening to the radio the whole fucking morning. It was December 14th, 2012. These kids were 11 days from Christmas. These poor kids, you gotta feel for them. It's very tearful. These kids, they had 11 days before Christmas. You know, these kids were excited. You know, they were waiting for Christmas Day to come. It was getting close. You know, it was going to be probably the best Christmas of their lives. Give me a second. I'm not crying. It's just, this is a hard thing. Before Christmas, you know, this fucking asshole, this piece of shit, Adam Lanza, shot and killed 26 people. 20 of the victims were children between the ages of 6 and 7 years old. And then 6 of them were adults. How can you be so heartless to shoot up 26 and 7-year-olds? I look at my fiance's daughter. You know, I love her like my own daughter. She's 6 years old. She'll be 7 soon. Cutest little thing. Cutest little thing. I just can't imagine what sick piece of fucking dog shit would wield an assault rifle and shoot somebody as innocent and as cute as her. You know? It's very heartbreaking. Earlier that day, before driving to the school, he shot and killed his mother. As the first responders arrived at the school, Lanza committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. The incident was the deadliest mass shooting at an elementary school in U.S. history and the 4th deadliest mass shooting overall. The shooting prompted renewed debate about gun control in the U.S., including, and I remember hearing about this too, proposals to make background check system universal and for the new federal and state gun legislation banning the sale and manufacture of certain types of semi-automatic firearms and magazines which can hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. A November 2013 report issued by Connecticut State Attorney's Office concluded that Lanza acted alone and planned his actions, but provided no indication why he did so or why he targeted the school. A report issued by the Office of Child Advocate in November 2014 said that Lanza had Asperger's syndrome, and as a teen, I'm going to take a quick break, guys, before I come back and do this. You know, no parents with that 18 years old. Yep, I'll be back in a second, guys. I'm going to, get my posture back here. Give me a second.
Now back to our show.
Introducing Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats in a box. May we suggest, when satisfying your craving for the chewy, marshmallowy, homemade taste of Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats Squares, don't forget your friends. New Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats in a box. Got a craving?
Ronald, you've redecorated Hamburglar's room.
Hamburglar deserves it. He's been a big help at the Happy Meal Workshop.
He hasn't taken a single cheeseburger for a long time.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Hamburglar, this is your new room.
Wow. Rubble, thanks.
Let's give him a few.
Alrighty, just over an hour into the show. Thought it was a little bit longer. So we're talking about the Sandy Hook shooting. Sandy Hook. Disgusting. Just like this past shooting. Disgusting. So I didn't know much about Lanza. I didn't know about his history. All this information came out a couple of years, in the making. Said that he had Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome. I know somebody, a couple people with Asperger's syndrome. They're not dumb enough to do something like this. They're not that mental enough to do something like this. I'm pretty sure if this piece of shit was tackled and captured and arrested that day, I guarantee you these stupid motherfuckers would have said, nope, he pleads insanity. Lock him in a rubber room for life. No. You put that motherfucker in a prison cell, and you let some big, brolic black dude named Requise bend his ass over and rape the fuck out of his asshole until he bleeds internally and externally. Had Asperger's syndrome, and as a teenager had depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Well, goddamn, I guess I'm going to end up shooting up a school too, huh? You want to say this guy had Asperger's syndrome and he had all this fucking shit? Well, my OCD ain't as bad. I mean, I'm a very organized and clean person and shit, and sometimes if certain things are like out of order or whatever, things have to be a certain way or that kind of thing. Like, does that mean I'm going to end up shooting up a school? Is that what they're saying? But concluded that he had neither caused or nor led, none of these traits had neither caused nor led to his murderous act. The report went on to saying his severe and deteriorating internalized mental health problems, combined with an atypical preoccupation with violence and access to deadly weapons, proved a recipe for mass murder. Now, it was said back then that his parents had firearms. And his mom, I think it was his mom, it was said that she would take her son out to firing ranges to fire the guns. I remember that being said, his mommy dearest would take him out to the fire ranges to fire them. But let me see if there was anything in connection with like any video game. Let's see. Did they try to blame video games for this? I wonder. Education. I don't give a shit about it. He did attend Sandy Hook Elementary School for 4.5 years. He began at Newtown Middle in 2004, and according to his mother, was wrecked by anxiety. She told friends that her son started getting upset at middle school because of the frequent classroom changes during the day. Oh my God. You become upset when your classes change throughout the day. You become upset when you got 7 1-hour period classes. You become upset. I can't handle it. I can't handle the stress. I got 7 different classes in a day. What the fuck do you think you had in elementary school? Elementary school, I had 2 or 3 other fucking classes, and it all depended on what the teacher taught. Yes, we had a homeroom class, a homeroom teacher, but we also went off to different classes. You want to sit there and tell me that this motherfucker developed or was wrecked by anxiety because he was getting upset in middle school of the frequent classroom changes during the day? The movement and noise was too stimulating and made him anxious. God damn, why didn't you fucking homeschool the little bastard then? At one point, his anxiety was so intense that she took him to the emergency room at Danbury Hospital. In April 2005, she moved into a new school, St. Rosa Lima. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where he lasted only 8 weeks. At age 14, he went to Newtown High School, where he was named to the honor roll. He was named to the honor roll in 2007. That's a shock right there. Students and teachers knew him in high school. Who knew him in high school described him as intelligent but nervous and fidgety. Intelligent, my ass. He avoided attracting attention and was uncomfortable socializing. You know, that's like they try to sit there and say, you got to watch out for the quiet ones, right? He is not known to have any close friends in the school. Schoolwork often triggered his underlying sense of hopelessness. And by 2008, when he turned 16, he was only going to school occasionally. The intense anxiety Lanza experienced at the time suggests that his autism was exacerbated, whatever the fuck that word is, by the hormonal shifts of adolescence. He was taken out of high school and homeschooled by his mother and father. He earned a GED in 2008 and 9. He also attended some classes at Western Connecticut State University. Oh, this motherfucker went to a university? Are you kidding me? This piece of shit who shot up 26 and 7-year-olds went to a fucking university? I never knew this. He has forms of autism. He is anxious. He suffers from anxiety. Jesus Christ. Do I even dare? That's too long of a fucking paragraph talking about the development and mental health problems. But let's see. In the final months, according to a report by the Office of the Child Advocate in Connecticut in November 2014, Lanza may have had anorexia nervosa. The authors wrote that anorexia can produce cognitive impairment, and it is likely that anorexia combined with autism spectrum disorder and OCD compounded Lanza's risk for suicide. They also noted at the time of his death, Lanza was anorexic. He was only 6 feet tall and weighed 112 pounds, to the point of malnutrition and resultant brain damage. Maybe that's what fucking happened. He was so fucking brain dead. His brain was damaged so fucking bad with a lot of that shit. But here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes, guys. I remember hearing about this. Here it comes. Video games. And let me tell you something. This video game, I played it several times. There is no fucking way that this video game could be responsible for any kind of school shooting. Okay? He was also living in almost total isolation in his room, spending most of his time on the internet playing World of Warcraft and other video games. The report stated that he descended into a world where his only communication with the outside world was the members of a cyber community, a small community of individuals that shared his dark and obsessive interest in mass murder. A small community. So there's still a small community of people out there that are obsessed with mass murder. That's what you're telling me. There's still a lot of fucking sickos out there that could plan mass murders. They're obsessed with it. It's a fucking joke to them. Of course. But when you sit there and tell me that he was stuck into playing games like World of Warcraft, my uncle plays World of Warcraft. I have a friend who plays World of Warcraft all the time. You know, he's disabled. You know, he can't really get out of the house and do anything. That's his only getaway. You know, that's all he's able to do is play World of Warcraft and other games. You know, are you going to sit there and tell me that World of Warcraft is going to warp their minds and create killers out of them? In the weeks before the killings, Lanza's mother was considering moving him to another town. She planned to purchase a recreational vehicle for him to stay in, so that potential purchasers could see the house without disturbing him. The report of the Child Advocate said that in the wake of Mrs. Lanza's stated plan to move out of Newtown in 2012, and perhaps stimulated by fears of leaving the comfort zone of his home, Adam planned and executed the massacre of Sandy Hook on December 14th, 2012. His severe and deteriorating internalized mental health problems were combined by atypical preoccupation with violence, combined with the access to deadly weapons that proved to be a mass murder. James Knoll, who's a forensic psychiatrist, was consulted about what motivated Lanza to kill. Knoll states that Lanza's final act conveyed a distinct message. I carry profound hurt, I go ballistic, and transfer it on to you. This kid, he was severely fucked up. Severely fucked. There had to have been something more to that fucking shit. There had to have been something more to it, though. Figures you go live when I was mowing the yard. Of course, man. You know, that's the only time I have the time to go live, man. You missed a lot of good stuff, but I'm still going on, man. I didn't get to the Uvalde school shooting yet, so I'm just covering a couple bases. I talked about Columbine. I'm on Sandy Hook right now. Next one's going to be Uvalde, you know, the school shooting in Texas. But yeah, this individual, you know, Adam Lanza, Sandy Hook. Sick fucking individual, you know. He had Asperger's syndrome. He suffered from anxiety. He had all these issues. Yet he sat at home and he would spend hours playing World of Warcraft and several other video games. They all had one thing in common: bad family. And that's the thing too. Like the Columbine kids, I didn't even see anything about how fucked up their family was or their families were. But with this one, Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook, like, mom would take this kid out to fucking fire ranges, you know, to shoot guns. You know, she would train him and show him how to fire a gun and shit. Like, I wouldn't do that. I understand. There's a lot of parents out there that take their kids hunting at a young age. Come on, son, we're going to go out and hunt your first deer. There's nothing wrong with that. Exactly. But when you got somebody who's very mentally unstable, somebody who's anxious and has Asperger's syndrome and autism, somebody who has an affinity with mass murders and death and stuff like that, do you really want to take a chance of putting a firearm in their hands? I fucking wouldn't. If my child had any kind of mental instability, I wouldn't trust them with a firearm. I wouldn't. Yeah, agree if they had issues, probably not a good idea. Exactly. You know, if the child is stable, if there's, you know, nothing going on wrong with mentally with them, you know, like that's what should be done when it comes to the sale of firearms. They should strongly do mental background checks, you know, because look at a lot of fucking people who own firearms. You know, you can get a firearm anywhere. You can buy a firearm online. You can buy that shit online. There are special schools for those who need it. Exactly. Tim, while you're here, what was the name of that AR that you said yesterday? I gotta look that up again. What was the name of that firearm that you said, the AR? I think it was guns.com. I looked it up on. Yeah. Because let's see, violent mental issues are supposed to be reported to the NICS system. Exactly. DDM4. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so I've looked up the DDM4 because we're going to get ready to go into the Uvalde shooting. Okay. So, DDM4, he owned two of these. They're assault rifles. They're M4s. Well, basically. Daniel Defense DDM4s. And there's different variants of it, too. Like this one right here, this is they all run. They seem to all run 5.56 by 45 rounds. You know, semi-automatics, 10 rounds to the chamber, not the chamber, but the clip. So this one right here goes for $2,400. Then there's another one. This one's semi-auto, 30 rounds to the mag, 18 barrel, $1,799.99. Here's another one. 5.56 by 45 automatic, semi-auto, 30 rounds to the mag, 16 barrel, $2,159.99. So you got a lot of DDM4s right here that range between. They're not assault rifles. Yeah, they're semi-auto. They're semi-auto rifles. Yeah, closest you can come to the term assault rifle is a select fire. and they do full auto or burst. Yeah, these are all semi-auto. Because I remember reading up on that too. You know, they were trying to ban semi-auto fire weapons and shit. But yeah, these weapons right here are between $1,500 and $2,500. Those things are expensive for assault rifles. They are. Just like, okay, I remember somebody told me they bought an AK-47 at one time for like $800 or some shit. Like, if I look up AK-47s, okay, you know, the sales are, like, if you go for a Century Arms AK-47, just under $1,000. So certain firearms you can get done with under $1,000. This is a website called guns.com. This is where you can buy guns on here. I'm not going to buy a gun. I'm not going to attempt to buy a gun because I don't know if they go through any kind of special screening on the website. You know, it's like, okay, you got to wait for this pin, you got to do this, da da da. Please stop using assault rifle as a term. It's plain in there. Oh, I know you're very passionate about guns. I know, you know, AK-47, it is an assault rifle. Yes, I know, dude. You know, it's like you don't need to be offensive about it. I know you're very defensive when it comes to firearms. I know you're passionate. Assault rifles are any kind of rifles that are full auto and burst round. Yes. Just like the term AR-15. You know, AR is Armalite rifle. It doesn't stand for assault rifle. It's Armalite. When you buy from a website, it has to be shipped to a FFL gun shop, and they run a background check. That's what I figured. Yeah, I figured they're not going to directly send it to your house or anything like that. Yeah, I figured that much. But still, like, how does somebody like this, what the fuck was his name? That fucking idiot recently. What the hell is his name? I don't even fucking know. That's just talking. Okay, let me all right, let me just look this up. I'm done with Sandy Hook. That's the fucking disgusting. I hate that fucking. I'm glad he fucking shot himself. Well, then again, I'll get into that in a little bit here. I will. Uvalde County. Uvalde school shooting. The Robb Elementary School shooting. What was the name of that little fucker? Ramos. That's it. Ramos. Wasn't it Alvaro Ramos or whatever the fuck his goddamn name is? They just said Ramos. Salvador Rolando Ramos. Motherfucking piece of garbage. Yeah. Salvador Ramos. But yeah, like Sandy Hook was bad. You know, Sandy Hook, like I still can't get over the fact that when you read up on that, Sandy Hook, you know, Lanza murdered 26 and 7-year-olds. When you hear that, and you look at how young your child is, you look at your child, like how pissed off does that make you when you hear that some jerk off, because, oh, I got Asperger's syndrome, I'm mentally retarded, but look, mommy told me how to fire a gun. I play World of Warcraft. I play video games. Hey, look, kiddies, you want to see something cool? Bang, bang, you're dead. You know, somebody fucked up in the head like that. I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way with, because I mentioned it yesterday on a live stream, and I was telling Lycan about it. People like that, and then they take their own life. They take their own life. The coward's way out. No, I'd say capture this motherfucker, torture the fuck out of him. And when I mean torture the fuck out of him, I mean put him in a fucking prison cell with 5 big guys. Give them any type of weapon they want. And I would go to town on the son of a bitch. First, I might cut the motherfucker's nipples off. You know, I know that's gotta fucking hurt right there, you know? You see how pissed off I get when yeah, exactly, trying to purposely hurt Avery. Yeah, I know. Sadly, we can't cruel and unusual punishment. Nah, fuck that. I would say cruel and unusual punishment, all bets off. All, you know, take the gloves off, put them in a fucking room, nobody's seen anything, nothing happened. Fuck that. Yeah, fuck cruel and unusual punishment, man. Because I tell you exactly what I would fucking do. I would take a fucking rusty razor blade, and I would cut the fucker's nipples off. I would start right there, right? I would cut the fucker's nipples off. I would have his hands tied behind his back. And this would be for both Adam Lanza and Salvador Ramos, or whatever the fuck his name is. I cut the nipples off. Then I would like make light little slits from his nipples on down to his pelvic area. I might slit his fucking ball sack open. You know, just like very lightly because it's so delicately. I would slit his ball sack open, watch his balls fall out of the sack, hang there on the floor, all while he's screaming and bleeding. Then I would probably slit his fucking dick open, right? I'd probably take it, slit his dick open at the head. Ugh, that makes me fucking shiver. Ugh. That makes me fucking go. You're like, oh, not the dick. No, this is how I want to do the motherfucker. Slit his dick head open, split in half. And then while he's bleeding out, I would have those 5 guys bend him over a fucking pole and just 3 minutes each big dick right in his asshole. Pound the fuck out of it. You don't even have to fucking, what the hell they call it, fucking fill it up or whatever that fucking porn term is, you know, I forgot what the hell it's called. That goddamn COVID shot really fucked my head up. But, you know, you don't even have to finish off inside his asshole. You know, you just fucking rape him. You know, just spread those fuckers' assholes open. Make it gaping. Make him fucking cry. Make him cringe. Make him cry, you know? And that'd be a ton of mercury in their bloodstream, and watch what happens because people can die of shock. Oh no, I would make sure I would be like, hey guard, bring in a goddamn one of those machines. Bring in one of those goddamn battery machines, you know, where I can clear, bring them back to life. Fuck that. I would have those 5 big brawlic, heavy set dudes, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. You know, just fucking ram his ass 5 good times, you know, make him just stretch his asshole out, make him fucking cringe. And then I would just lay him there, right? I would lay him there for maybe about an hour to heal up a little bit if he's still alive. Then I would do it all over again. Because trust me, for sick fucks like this, they don't deserve a quick death. Death that quick. It doesn't say it. It doesn't say it much. That's not justice for me. Just like pedophiles, you know, it doesn't do it for me. See, they gotta be tortured. They have to be really taught a fucking lesson for what they do. You know, I would torture the fuck out of them. That would make fucking Hannibal Lecter fucking cringe, you know? I would do things that would make Hannibal Lecter cringe. I would do things to these motherfuckers that Rob Zombie couldn't have ever thought of putting in his movie House of a Thousand Corpses. I know that was one of your favorite movies back in the day, Tim. It's one of mine too for Rob Zombie. You know, I would fucking do things that was probably uncut from the movie House of a Thousand Corpses. That's what I would do to motherfuckers like these two, you know? Torture the hell out of them. And then when I think he's had enough, I'd be like, no, we'll just keep doing it until you just die eventually, you know. That's it. No quick death, you know. And I know they say, kill them, let God sort them out. Like, no, you know those motherfuckers are suffering in hell right now. They are. And you know old Satan down there is putting them to work in the fiery pits, fucking them over. But I would say, and I could be somewhat dark too like that, but that's how I would treat somebody like that who would wield a firearm and shoot innocent children because their life sucks that bad. Because your life sucks that bad, you have to go wield a firearm, shoot innocent kids. Innocent fucking kids. You're a fucking coward. So anyway, May 24th, just a few days ago, 18-year-old Salvador Rolando Ramos fatally shot 19 children, 19 students, and 2 teachers, and wounded 17 others at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Earlier that day, Ramos had shot his grandmother in the forehead, severely wounding her. This is kind of something that's repeating itself, ain't it? repeating the past. Actually, hold that thought. Hold that fucking thought. Okay. Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook shooting happened December 14th, 2012. The Robb Elementary shooting, May 2022. So almost 10 years. Almost 10 years to the date. Almost. Well, there's several months apart, but we'll just say 10 years. Doesn't that sound kind of coincidental? 10 years after Sandy Hook. You know, this teenage fucker. This teenage fucker, you know, he plans his shit. First off, he shoots his grandmother. What did Lanza do 10 years ago before he shot up those innocent children? He shot his mother. This fucker shoots his grandmother. After firing shots outside the school for approximately 5 minutes, he entered the school armed with an AR-15 style rifle through an open side entrance door. First of all, why is there an open side entrance to the school? After everything that has happened in the last 10, 15, some years, ever since fucking Columbine or anything else before that, why is there an open door? And why is there not anybody monitoring that fucking door? Why isn't there anybody near the door, inside or out? If this guy, or if I'm reading this right, okay, he fired shots outside the school for 5 minutes. That should be long enough for somebody to make sure the doors are all closed. Why was that door open? I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody was like, oh, I was just taking out the trash. We were just doing this. We were doing that. No, this guy had a 5-minute window. Do you mean to tell me that, you know, you hear gunshots outside? You can't take a second or a minute to go make sure all these doors are fucking closed? Are you kidding me? Like, do I blame somebody for that? Should I blame somebody for that? An open door? This fucker was able to get into the building. It says it right here. After 5 minutes of shooting outside, he entered with an AR-15 through an open side entrance door without encountering armed resistance, which means there was no police around, you know, for him to, you know, even encounter, right? Ramos locked himself inside a classroom where all his victims were killed and remained there for about 1 hour before being killed by a United States Border Patrol Borgtok tactic team. So Border Patrol killed the son of a bitch. It wasn't the police. It wasn't Texas Find Us. It wasn't Buford T. Justice. It was the fucking Border Patrol. It is the third deadliest act, or the third deadliest American shooting after the Virginia Tech shooting in 2007 and Sandy Hook in 2012, and the deadliest ever in Texas history. Law enforcement officials were criticized for their actions in response to the shooting. After initially praising first responders to the shooting, Texas Governor Greg Abbott called for an investigation of the lack of action by the incident commanders. Police officers waited 78 minutes on site before breaching the classroom to engage him. What was it I shared recently? I shared something on Facebook. I shared it on Facebook, didn't I? Where's it at? Here it is. So this picture is circulating around on the internet right now on social media. The Parkland cops ran away. The Buffalo cop, this was in the Buffalo shooting, which happened a couple weeks ago, was killed instantly. The 3 cops at Uvalde were overpowered, then waited 40 minutes to enter the school. So veteran cops repeatedly failed but we're supposed to expect lunch lady Doris and school nurse Betty to stop a terrorist with an AR-15? So you mean to tell me the police officers at Uvalde were overpowered by a horde of one? And these fuckers waited 78 minutes before breaching the classroom? Who the fuck trains these fucking cops? They're supposed to be veteran police officers? Is that what I said? Veteran cops? I understand if you have protocols and shit, but there's just so much with this shooting. Oh, you're listening. Okay. Okay, my uncle's listening to it too. Notice how these mass shooters happen while under Democrat. Yes. Sandy Hook ran under Barack Obama. When did Obama come into power? 2008. Yeah, so Virginia Tech wasn't technically Obama, but Obama, Sandy Hook, Uvalde, Biden. Notice how all these mass shootings happen under Democratic rule. And then what happens? What happens after a mass shooting happens? They get together with the media. They get together with all these other Democrats. And the problem is we got to ban firearms. We got to have stricter firearm laws in place. Okay, man? Come on, man. We gotta 2 + 2 is 3, right? So that has to go into the American gun control, and then let's go Brandon. Yeah, we can't forget about him. You got dementia in the goddamn White House. Who's talking about gun control? I said it yesterday. Guns are a tool. They're a weapon. They're a tool. You don't have to ban firearms. You don't. What needs to happen is psychological backgrounds being checked on people who fucking wield this shit. Where did this kid get 2 AR-15s ranging between the prices of $1,500 and $2,500? Well, you can't blame it on police after the Demotards put a lot of restrictions on the police since fuck Lloyd. Yeah, fucking Floyd. I'll get to that in a second. From a gun shop. Yeah. So this dude, this 18 years old, he buys 2 AR-15s, DDM-4 AR-15s. Where does he get the money for that? My question is now is like, did he actually buy it or did somebody buy it for him? But they said he bought these guns. He bought them. Let's get back to this. It fucking boggles my mind. Okay, so there's so many plot holes with this shooting right here, right? There's so many plot holes. Stop me if I get anything wrong. Okay, there's so many plot holes. You can also get it off the street or black market. Yes, that's also true, man. You can get it off the streets or the black market. If you have the money for it, if you know who to go to, if you can go to Joe Schmo in a fucking corner, in a dark alley somewhere, yes, you can buy one there too. Antifa loaned the money. Follow the money. That's possible too. He could have links to Antifa all over those motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. So there's so many plot holes right here with this story. This guy fired shots for 5 minutes. Okay, he had a 5-minute window outside depending on where he was at. He fired shots for 5 minutes outside the school. After that, he went into the school through an open door, an open side entrance door. Now, everybody knows what a gunshot sounds like. Even if it's not a gunshot, it's a loud bang. If you hear something of that nature, like, why wasn't there anybody there to make sure those doors were closed? Why was there an open side entrance door? Why wasn't it secured? That's red flag 1. Red flag 2. Police officers waited outside for 78 fucking minutes. And what was that picture I just shared too? 3 cops at Uvalde were overpowered and waited 40 minutes to enter the school. So you mean to tell me that you were overpowered by a horde of one? And I even commented too. I was like, what pussies are the police force hiring? I mean, are they hiring people to sit there and say, I'm not going to deal with that, man. I'm not dealing with that. You deal with that, brother. No, you deal with that, man. Nah. We'll sit out here. We'll wait for somebody else. We'll wait for somebody better to come in and take the shots. Yeah, you'll wait for the United States Border Patrol tactical team to come in and shoot the son of a bitch, right? Yeah. So police officers waited 78 minutes on the side before breaching the classroom to engage Ramos. Police also cornered off the school grounds, resulting in violent conflicts between the police and civilians who were attempting to enter the school to rescue their children. Now, I can understand you got a situation where you got a murderer inside of a school wielding 2 firearms, and you don't want these parents to become victims of this too. They're trying to rescue their kids. They're trying to get the kids out. Because isn't the thing, all right, I work sort of, I guess you can call it or consider it sort of a law enforcement spot, sort of. But I know about these kind of situations. I know there's escape plans. Whenever somebody enters a building, whenever somebody enters the building with a gun and they start shooting, I know you barricade yourself, you find a place to hide, or if you got an open window somewhere, try to get out. You try to get out. There's so many flaws with this right here, And then, afterwards, local and state officials gave inaccurate reports of the timeline of police actions and overstated actions police took to stop Ramos. The Texas Department of Public Safety acknowledged a series of errors, including the decision to delay an assault on Ramos's position. So there was a lot of crooked shit going on with this shooting. A lot of crooked shit that went on. Which definitely highly has us believing, thanks to my uncle, he pointed a lot of shit out too. And it makes sense. Notice that it all happens whenever a Democrat is running the country. And I know some people out there be like, well, that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. Look at Sandy Hook and Obama. Look at this thing right here with Biden. Look at how crime has risen greatly ever since Biden took office. None of this shit happened under Trump's watch. No, we didn't. God damn. Following the shooting, which took place 10 days after another high-profile mass shooting at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, wider discussions ensued about American gun culture and violence, gridlocked in politics, and law enforcement's failure to halt the attack. Some have advocated for renewal of the federal assault weapon ban. Others criticize politicians for their perceived role in continuing to enable mass shootings. Republicans have responded by resisting the implementation of gun control measures, instead calling for increasing security measures in schools, such as armed teachers. They also accuse their opponents of politicizing the shooting, which is happening. It's all a politicized thing. That's the reason why this school shooting happened. These politics, these Democrats, they use this shit for a reason. Elections is coming up this November. It's not the main primaries, It's not the one where you select a new president. But elections are coming up here real soon. When something like this happens, the Democrats try to do something to make themselves look good, so they can get certain things done, Like that mass shooting in Buffalo, okay? This guy, this sick fuck, shot, a whole bunch of African-American civilians in the grocery store, and he was white. Also bearing the fucking insignia for Ukraine, some Ukrainian army, army general or some shit. He was legally allowed to purchase those weapons as he had nothing reported on the background check system. Okay, so somebody failed somewhere when it came to the background check system. That's what happened. Somebody failed somewhere. Somebody didn't do their job, Lucy. Somebody didn't do their job. Somebody didn't check this son of a bitch. He's 18 years old. I would say, why not be a certain age to purchase firearms? Why not let that be a start somewhere? I mean, after all, you got to be 21 to buy cigarettes and to buy alcohol. But you could be 16 or 18 to buy a firearm? Isn't there something a little wrong with that right there? That's what you've been saying all along. If we actually enforced what laws we don't need any more walls. Exactly. Nobody wants to enforce shit. Nobody wants to do anything about it. That's the sad nature of it. And like I'm saying, I'm like, you can put an age restriction on alcohol and cigarettes. Cigarettes, which is said to cause cancer. Alcohol, which is, causes alcoholism. It's another type of drug. So you can be 21 to buy alcohol and cigarettes. But now that like you said, yeah, you gotta be 18 to buy a rifle and a shotgun, 21 for a handgun. That shit makes no sense. It makes no sense. I have nothing against firearms. Everybody should have the right to bear arms for reasons, for protection. People buy them for game. You go hunting. You buy them as a hobby. You buy them to protect your family, your household. So why punish us with some 18-year-old idiot like this with the fucking mentality of a potato who's allowed to fucking, who goes into a fucking school, and then you got Barney Fife, Andy Taylor, Roscoe Coltrane, Enos Strait all sitting outside saying, well, what you want to do, man? You want to go in there, or you want to sit out here until the heavies come in and take them out, man? Are you talking? You know what I mean, man? You want to sit out here, man? Hey, man, It should be 18 for all of them. The government would stick on it. We'll stick on in your hand at 18. I say, for now, rather than ban any kind of firearm, rather than look at the American gun culture and the NRA and say, man, we're going to propose a ban on assault rifle purchases and all, rather than fucking doing that, why not add an age restriction? 21, maybe 25 to buy a weapon. Who knows? 21 should be the most, or at least the least, for purchasing any kind of firearm. It should be. I mean, at this point, you got an 18-year-old. I don't even know if he's fresh out of high school or if he dropped out or whatnot. We're going to look into that. You disagree? I mean, you can disagree. I know. I mean, everybody has an opinion. People disagree. People agree. I mean, that's my opinion. At 18 years, I know. I do know 18 you're an adult. I understand that. I know. 18 you're an adult. I do understand that. My thing is, you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes and alcohol, but you can be 18 years old and buy an Armalite rifle or a shotgun. Like, does that make any sense? And of course, you got to be 21 to buy a handgun. Like, how many school shootings have there been with a handgun? I don't even know. I mean, can you? Has anybody could tell me that? How many school shootings have there been where the shooter carried a regular handgun? If we do that, then 21 to drive. I think it should be 18 to drink and smoke too. More than rifles. So there are I guess so. I mean, you got Junior that can take a fucking handgun to school, but then they usually end up getting caught with it. It's like in their locker and shit. But they do the stupid thing like, hey, look what I got in my locker. I got a gun, man. I mean, they're not going to do that. They're not going to push the age to drive a vehicle to 21. Like I would, like certain things should just have limits to them. Certain things should just have age limits to them. That's what I think. Like with something like this, that's like I'm saying, I'm like, don't have any kind of restrictions on firearms because, like I said, a firearm, a weapon, a gun, it's a tool. It's a weapon. It's a tool. The gun didn't shoot the fucking people. The idiot with the IQ of a fucking French fry shot the people with the tool. He used the tool. If that was the case, right? If the case was, let's see, Parkland and Columbine used their pistols mostly. They had rifles, but okay. Yeah, Columbine. Yeah, I know they had. I know they had rifles. Yeah. But my thing is, okay, if you propose a ban on guns, the idiot uses a gun. 21 to buy knives. Yeah, I guess if there's certain knives, yeah, that's true too. But if you ban a weapon from some, if you ban assault rifles, if you ban guns because guns kill, even though the operator is the one doing the killing. The operator is the one that's killing people with these weapons. Okay. What about the act of that guy that stabbed somebody in Japan? The mass stabbing. I'll watch the stream after I get done mowing the grass, catch up with you. All right, man, thanks for being here, buddy. I'll catch you later. But yeah, if you ban firearms, my thing is you either leave all dangerous things at 18 or make them all 21 to 25. I mean, I don't see that being a thing, like everything, like, you know, acquiring your license, this and that, you know, all being 21. I really don't see that. I just see certain things depending on the mentality of somebody when they turn 18. You know, there's a lot of adolescents that, you know, they turn 18 and they're not quote unquote normal in the head. You know, there's somebody who comes from a deranged, fucked up, you know, background. You know, their parents beat the fuck out of them, or mom and dad left them when they were fucking, you know, 12 years old or whatever. You know, yeah, I would say do a psychiatric review on them. You can't pick and choose. If you want to save lives, make it 21. I mean, that's just a tough call, man. I mean, there's going to be a lot of opinions about it. I mean, I respect your opinion and all, yeah. You know, make it all 21. I'm just saying, like, certain things should be pick and chosen. Like, you know, if you want to drive, yeah, driving a vehicle should still be like 16, maybe 18, whatever. But when it comes to handling something like a firearm, like firearms, yes, they are the most dangerous tool ever known to man. They are dangerous tools to handle. But then again, let's see, cars kill more people than guns. So do hammers and hands and feet. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. I wouldn't say, you know, hey, when you turn 21, you know, that's when you can buy a hammer. I wouldn't say something like that, you know. But it's a discussion that's kind of like, you know, hit or miss. You know, like I respect your opinion. You know, you disagree. I respect everything. You know, it's not trying to be an argument about anything of that nature. You know, this is, you know, us talking about it. But you figure, look at the thing that happened in Japan years ago, the mass stabbing. You know, the guy that took the knife and he stabbed what, 10 or 20 people. You know, back to back to back to back before he got caught or something. You know, or some shit like that. So it's like, okay, would you have to ban knives then? You know, you just like ban combat knives. You can't use a butter knife outside the house. You can't use a steak knife anymore or something like that. I mean, would that become a thing? You know, because any sharp object you can stab somebody with. It's like the example I stated yesterday. Okay, let's say you're a carpenter and you got 3 carpenters. Oh, you can't ban knives? Yeah, UK will ban anything. They're a bunch of fucking bitches over in UK. They'll ban anything. I mean, look at the way everything else is worded. You know, I don't see many. I don't see many Brits over there saying "fuck you," shit is shite, ass is arse. I'm like, that's your own language. Keep it over there, you know. But let's say, and I mentioned this yesterday too. Let's say you got 3 carpenters. Let's name them Larry, Curly, and Moe. Larry lives up in Washington State. Curly lives in Oklahoma. Moe lives in Massachusetts. Within a 4 or 5 week period, let's say all 3 of these dimwits are doing some kind of carpentry work. And one after the other. It doesn't all have to happen at the same time. Let's say there's a time period of 3 or 4 weeks. And each one of these Daltons commits an act of murder with a hammer, a simple hammer. Let's say they each kill somebody very uniquely with a hammer. Does that mean we got to ban the sales of hammers? Do we got to ban, you know, do we got to limit an age for, you know, hey, to buy construction tools, to buy tools all around? I mean, do we have to limit the age, you know, put an age limit on that? Like, I don't think so. It's all about the mentality. It's all about the mental status. You know, these 3 dimwits, you know, somebody called their mom a fucking fat whore. What are they going to do? Oh, they took a fucking hammer to their head, you know? They're like, oh, I'm going to kill you now. You call my mom a fat whore. You call my brother a lazy piece of garbage. He called my dad a fucking cigarette smoking, hey, I'll be back after I buy a pack of cigarettes, leaving at the age of 2 kind of motherfucking bitch, that kind of thing, always something stupid, There are sons of bitches, there are motherfuckers out there that'll kill somebody at McDonald's because they were short one French fry in their box or short one chicken nugget. That's sad. You got people out there with that type of mental status that would stab a motherfucker because you were short one chicken nugget. That's the sad reality that we live in, But when it comes to shit like this, it's like, do you really want to, go this far to like ban this and ban that because this and that happened? No. It's all about psychiatric review. Like, look at how many people, okay, and I know people would use COVID as a big excuse because we were all locked inside for 2 years because of COVID. We were all locked inside. We had nothing to do. A lot of us got laid off. A lot of us lost our jobs. Tons of businesses went under. We were all so very depressed. What do we do with our time? We got Papa Biden who's supplying us with stimulus checks. Here's a $1,600 check. One every 4 months. Do with that what you want. You got people out there that are unemployed. They're bored. It's like, you want to, look at the status. Like, you want to sit there and say that, kids, they weren't allowed to see their friends. Nobody was allowed to communicate with each other or get next to each other because they're fucking deathly afraid of catching a fucking bug. How many people a year catch the flu or pneumonia or the common cold? I had a cold twice this year so far. I'm still living. I'm still here. I'm not afraid to go around and shake somebody's hand. I'm not afraid to stand, within the 6 feet limit of them. I'm still going to do so. What, because a fucking government told me I can't? Fuck the government. They want to control everything. Just like they're trying to make this whole school shooting incident very politicized. It's for their nature. Let's go into the background of this. What's this? Nah, I'm not going to do the background of that. Fuck that. That's just talking about the school. So for the shooting, on the 24th, May 24th, Ramos and a 66-year-old grandmother had an argument over the phone bill at their home in Uvalde. It started out as an argument over a phone bill. A phone bill. Please tell me this is not what led up to the school shooting. Please. They had an argument over a phone bill, during which he shot her in the forehead before taking her pickup truck. She survived and sought help from the neighbors. Well, it is possible. It's always possible to survive a headshot, a shotgun, a gunshot wound to the head. It's always possible. You're not completely dead, so, luckily Grandma survived that. She survived and sought help from the neighbors while police were called in. She was then airlifted to the hospital in San Antonio in critical condition. Using his Facebook account, Ramos sent 3 private messages to a 15-year-old girl in Germany whom he had met online prior to the shooting. Oh, Christ. We're getting the goddamn Germans involved. Like Jackie Gleason once said, what the hell are the goddamn Germans going to do anything about? They got to do with it, Is a 15-year-old, who the fuck does he know in Germany is 15 years old? Who the fuck, you know what, I gotta look this up. I gotta see if this motherfucker's Facebook account is on here. What the hell is his name? Salvador fuckface retard, Salvador Ramos. I can't even fuck. Salvador Ramos. Is his Facebook account still active, I wonder? They probably took that shit down. Who fucking knows? Oh, there's this one who's a bartender. This guy here. Is this him? Is this him? No, this dude kind of looks Chinese. No, that's not him. I think they must have took his shit down anyway. They probably did. Yeah, I don't see his profile anywhere. So, where was I at here? Okay, he contacted a 15-year-old girl. The first to say that he was going to shoot his grandmother, a second to say that he had shot his grandmother, and a third, about 15 minutes before the shooting, to say that he was going to open fire at an elementary school. So he's sending these messages to some random girl in Germany. Really? Who the fuck are you talking to in Germany about that? I'm going to shoot my grandmother. Oh, she's dead. I'm going to go shoot up a school. You can't do anything about it because you're over in Germany. Jesus Christ. A spokesperson for Meta, the parent company of Facebook, said the posts were private one-to-one text messages discovered after the shooting took place. Ramos crashed his grandmother's truck through a barricade and into a concrete ditch outside Robb Elementary School at 11:28 a.m. According to police and security camera footage, he was wearing a plate carrier, a type of tactical vest without armor inserts. Where the hell do you get the money for that? I mean, don't you know? I think it's in certain states. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't tactical vests banned from any kind of public sales? Like you're not allowed to buy or purchase tactical vests. I mean, not unless it's something in certain states that is allowed. But from last I heard, I think it was in certain states where you're not allowed to purchase any kind of tactical vest, police vests, or anything of that nature. You're not supposed to wear them. You're not supposed to own them or something. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Where did I leave that? Okay. He had a tactical vest, a backpack, and all black clothing while carrying an AR-15 style rifle and standard capacity magazines. He was also initially reported to have a handgun, and he used only one of the two rifles that he legally bought. All right. A witness said that he first fired at two people at a nearby funeral home, both of whom escaped uninjured. You shoot somebody at a fucking funeral home? Jesus Christ. God damn. Police reported receiving 911 calls about a vehicle having crashed near the school. School resource officer drove past Ramos and pursued a teacher who they erroneously believed to be the gunman. Ramos then dropped a black ammunition bag and ventured further to the school. Ramos walked into the school through its south entrance at 11:33. So there's your 5-minute window right there. But still, you would think, hearing some kind of fire going off, some kind of gunfire going off, that, hey, that's gunfire. We need to make sure that this place is locked down because it's near a school. He crashed it near a school. So if he's firing shots at a funeral home, which is located probably across the street from the school, I mean, hey, wouldn't you want to take the precaution and say, yes, make sure all the doors are locked, get all the kids away from the windows, that kind of thing. So there's your 5-minute window right there. The security door that had been propped open minutes earlier by a teacher who had exited the building to retrieve a mobile call. So the teacher doesn't have a key to get back in the building. So the teacher went outside to take a phone call. So a phone call was much more important than to getting your ass back inside after hearing a gunshot. A gunshot near the elementary school. It's not like it's 2 or 3 miles away where it echoes. It's right near the fucking school. So a phone call is more important to you than hearing a gunshot, somewhere, and you're like, what was that? What was that? You left the fucking door open, like, oh my God. That should have been a teacher. That should have been on fucking report right there. Jesus Christ. I would hope they put her on report. What the fuck were you doing outside taking a goddamn phone call, Where did I fucking leave off at here? Exit. Okay, mobile phone call. UCISD's police chief estimated that the shooting began at 11:32. According to the Facebook post by the school was locked down at 11:43 in response to gunshots heard in the vicinity. So about 10 minutes later after all that took place. After entering the building, Ramos walked down 2 short hallways, entered a classroom that was internally connected to another classroom, and opened fire on the children and 2 teachers in the room. All the victims were located in the 4th grade classroom where he locked the door. Ramos is described as having met one of the teachers at the classroom door and backing her into the classroom. He then made eye contact with the teacher, saying good night, and shot and killed her. How do they know what the hell he said to her? I mean, not unless I think there was a couple. I think there was a couple kids that were in there that did survive it. Because I remember reading up on one little girl that was in there. She covered herself in blood and played dead while he was in the room. So that's probably what, where those speculation came from. So he makes eye contact with the teacher, says good night, shot and killed her. Like, that's the kind of shit you would see in a fucking movie. Like, that's fucked up. You walk up to somebody, hey, good night, bam. That's fucked up. Ramos also played sad music out loud while the massacre was ongoing. Oh, Christ. This motherfucker playing music while he made this shit a game. This shit is sickening. Like, okay, I only read just a little bit about what happened that day. I heard about the school shooting, right? I swear to y'all, I did not read up on this shit. I did not read up on every little detail. So if I sound shocked to hear this, guys, this is my first time reading up all this detail. This is my first time reading it because I wanted to bring it to this live stream. I wanted to bring it to this podcast specifically. This is my first time hearing about this or reading up on this. This dude played it out like it was a fucking movie. He put sad music on while he's slaughtering innocent kids. According to a male student who hid in the adjoining classroom, Ramos came in and slightly crouched, saying it's time to die, before opening fire. Afterward, a responding officer called out, "Yell if you need help." In response, a girl in the same classroom said, "Help." Ramos heard the girl enter the classroom and shot her. The student that the officer then barged into the classroom. Ramos shot at the officer, and then more officers started shooting. Ramos fired a total of 116 rounds. The majority of the shooting occurred inside the building within the first few minutes. Ramos was in the building for 40 to 60 minutes while armed police remained outside the classroom and building. Officers arrived 4 minutes after Ramos entered the school and attempted to make entry, but retreated after he fired on them. Officers were not successful in establishing negotiations with Ramos. Veteran police officers, after getting shot at, retreated. This sick piece of human shit shot 20 children. And you got 4 cops who fucking ran. I understand they're protecting themselves, but aren't they supposed to be trained to deal with this kind of situation? I mean, even fucking Chuck goddamn Norris, fucking Walker, Texas Ranger, he would have figured that fucking shit out. He would have fucking found a way to fucking kill the son of a bitch before he fired anybody else. Goddamn. Retreated after he fired at him. God Christ. I mean, I understand they protected their lives and shit, but there could have been a much better executed plan to hurry up and get this motherfucker taken care of, rather than waiting 40 to 60 fucking minutes. The United States Marshal Service drove nearly 70 miles to the school and arrived at 12:10. So mind you all, there's a time lapse here between 11:28 and 12:10, so over a half hour later, where they helped officers initially confront the shooter, render first aid, and secure the perimeter. At 12:17, UCISD sent out a message on Twitter. Social media. That's not the kind of thing you put out on social media. Like, why are you communicating that kind of stuff on social media? Sent out a message on Twitter that there was an active shooter in an elementary school. God, that is... What kind of fucking panic are you putting there? How many parents are using social media and you're like, oh my God, there's an active shooter at this school. And the parents are like, oh my God, I got to get down there. My kid may be dead. My kid's in trouble. My kid's in trouble. Like, what kind of fucking pandemonium are you fucking causing right there? You know? I mean, you do need to, yeah, I understand you do need to notify the parents that there is something going on that's being taken care of, but I wouldn't put it out there on fucking social media like that. Like, goddamn, like, you're causing all kind of fucking panic and pandemonium with that fucking shit, man. Really. Goddamn. Schools District Police Chief Pedro Pete, I don't even understand the last name. I'm not going to just fucking pronounce it. Erroneously determined that the situation had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricade subject. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, with the shooter contained, officials believe that they had bought time to bring in tactical units. After the police cordoned the outside of the school, parents pleaded with the officers to enter the building. When they did not, parents offered to enter the building themselves. Officers held back and tackled parents who tried to enter the school, further warning that they would use tasers if parents did not comply with directions. Video clips were also uploaded to social media, including one that depicted a parent being pinned to the ground. A parent was pepper sprayed while trying to get their child, and a father was tackled. Police reportedly used taser on a parent who approached them. This is pissing me off. This is pissing me off hearing about this. You know, I agree, like, you know, I don't agree with the whole defund police bullshit. But when I hear about this kind of thing, the true evil, the enemy, is barricaded inside of a fucking school where he just slaughtered 26 and 7-year-old children. Even a child who screamed out for help, he came back and shot her. And you want to sit here and tell me that these fucking cops are outside pepper spraying and tasering fucking parents? Are you fucking kidding me? These fucking veteran cowards of the fucking force? Let me read that to you again. Where did I leave off at? Officers held back and tackled parents who tried to enter the school. They warned them. Then they used tasers on them. They used pepper spray on them. A father was tackled. Police reportedly used a taser on a parent who approached a bus to get their child. A mother of 2 was placed in handcuffs by officers for attempting to enter the school. When released from the handcuffs, she jumped the fence to retrieve her children, exiting before police entered. Some police officers were reported to have entered the school earlier to retrieve their own children while parents were being blocked from. How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? I wish my buddy Jeff was here. I could use a good whiskey freak out with him right now on this shit. How fucked up is that a fucking police officer would enter the goddamn school for their kids, but all these other parents can't? I understand that it's a dangerous situation and you don't want any more lives taken. You don't want to endanger the lives of any more parents. But still, the fucking enemy is inside the fucking school and you all out farting around outside the fucking school parking lot? Waiting for what? Fucking Chuck Norris to fucking show up and take the son of a bitch out from a fucking 20-mile hike? You have to treat parents like this? They even said, if you're not going to do anything, I'm going to go in there and get my kids. Because after all, this motherfucker, he's barricaded in a fucking classroom. They know where he's at. They got him a watch. These parents, they can go in. Please correct me if I'm wrong, people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the police correct to do this kind of thing? I got a fucking bottle of Bacardi upstairs I could use, but damn it, I gotta work tonight. I gotta fucking work tonight. But correct me if I'm wrong. These parents were fucking tasered, handcuffed, treated like fucking criminals, trying to save their kids. Because the whole fucking police force of Hazard County is standing around with their thumbs up their goddamn asses, not doing anything. The 4 coward veteran cops on the force went in to try to do something. This motherfucker fired, 3 rounds at him and said, "Oh, fuck this, I'm gone." Fuck. According to the Texas DPS lieutenant, first responding officers had insufficient manpower and were unable to enter. Insufficient manpower? Are you fucking kidding me? You're overran by a horde of 1 with a fucking gun? How many of these situations are these cops trained for this? How many situations are they trained for this? Aren't they supposed to be fucking trained for this? This is their fucking department. They have the weapons. They have the fucking manpower. You're going to sit there and tell me that they had insufficient manpower? Is it because of defund the police? Defund the police. What's his name? He killed George Floyd. He killed George Floyd. Defund the police. Is that what you're saying? You didn't have the fucking manpower because some fucking bitches out there want to say, defund the police. Defund the police. They're killing innocent black men out there. Defund the police. I'll get to that in a little bit. Oh my God, that fucking had me infuriated. My uncle brought that to my attention. I hope you're still listening, man. That's fucking infuriating. So the first responding officers had insufficient manpower and were unable to enter the classroom. 3 or 4 cops that were overran by a horde of 1 with a fucking gun. How about when he fucking ran out, when his fucking clip ran out and he had to reload? How about rushing in and gunning the motherfucker down? That's what I would have done. Because there's that 3 or 4 second spot right there where you can reload a weapon, depending on the type of clips that he had, depending on the type of magazines that he had, and the type of DDM4 that he had. I'm pretty sure reload time was a good 3 seconds. Correct me there if I'm wrong, Lycan. Correct me. Yeah, because isn't it like a good 3 or 4 seconds to reload a gun? They could have had that window to fucking rush in, fire a bullet in the motherfucker's arm or head, and that was it. But instead, they decided to fucking run out. Damn. So they had insufficient manpower and were unable to enter the classroom. They instead evacuated children and teachers by breaking windows around the school. Ramos stayed in the classroom for around an hour, hiding behind a steel door that officers were unable to get open until they obtained a master key from the janitor. A Border Patrol tactical unit agent rushed to the scene after receiving a text message from his wife. A teacher there, his wife who was a teacher there. Prior to this, the officer had been off duty and was about to get a haircut before receiving the news. The officer immediately set out with a shotgun his barber had lent him and arrived on scene approximately an hour after the first responders arrived. Additional BORTAC agents arrived and did not have a battering ram or other breaching tools. So you mean to tell me, out of all the departments they have, all the fucking police that they have in that county, they don't have those kind of tools? How many police departments do you see on the news, in videos, where they're breaking into somebody's house for a criminal, or they're using a small battering ram to open the fucking door? But you mean to tell me that these motherfuckers didn't have a battering ram for that type of door or breaching tools? He was hiding behind a steel door the whole time, and you didn't have the proper fucking tools to take care of it? So a U.S. Marshal on scene provided agents with a ballistic shield. After the door was unlocked, a BORTAC agent entered the room holding the shield, followed by 2 other BORTAC agents, a Border Patrol search, trauma, and rescue agent, and at least 1 sheriff's deputies. Ramos reportedly opened fire at the group from the closet in the room before officials returned fire and killed him. A UCISD officer exchanged fire with the shooters. BORTAC agents joined them in response to a request for assistance. One sustained an injury. According to Governor Greg Abbott, the injured Border Patrol agent fatally shot Ramos. So they finally went in after an hour or so to do all that. I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted and disappointed with this police department. There should be an investigation. Like, this shouldn't have not drug out the way it did. It should not have turned into the situation that it's become. Police officers that are afraid to do their job. You know, like, do you know how many police officers I hear about every so often that go above and beyond their job limits to protect people, to take down a person with a firearm or a deadly weapon? How many police officers go above and beyond to the status of hero? And yet I hear about shit like this. Like I said, there's too many plot holes in this fucking story. So here is a timeline, the first response timeline that takes place within an hour and a half. 11:28 a.m. Ramos crashes his grandmother's car into a ditch and exits the vehicle armed. 2 minutes later, first 911 call placed to the Uvalde police. 11:31, Ramos, who was outside the school, begins shooting into the classrooms. At the same time, an officer arrives, a patrol officer. 2 minutes later, 11:33, Ramos enters the school through a propped open door and begins shooting at interconnected classrooms 111 and 112. 11:35, 7 police officers enter the school. 3 officers approach the closet door, or not closet. They approach the closed door to the classroom that he was in. 2 officers are gazed with bullets. Didn't they have proper protective gear? Like, you're dealing with somebody who is wielding an assault rifle. Nikki Seal, want to be... What the fuck is this shit over on fucking Twitch? Want to become famous by viewers, followers, and primes on viewers shop? Yeah, fuck off. Goddamn bots. Jesus Christ. Nikki Surreal. Goddamn Russian bots. First time chat viewer. Yeah, thanks for the view, though. So, you got this individual who is wielding an AR-15. You know what he has. You had to wait for border security or border patrol to come in with fucking shields and shit. Like, why don't you have that kind of stuff? Isn't the police department supposed to have that kind of gear? Oh, wait, I forgot. Because of the whole George Floyd shit, you wanted to defund the police. I forgot all about that. I'm fucking sorry. Okay. 11:43, the school announces on Facebook a lockdown of the school due to gunshots in the area, stating that the students and staff are safe in the building. Students and staff are not safe in the fucking building. Well, most of them were. 20 innocent children were not. Along with 2 staff members. 12:03, 19 law enforcement officers gather in the hallway of the classrooms but do not enter the classroom Ramos was in because of the incident commander, Pete Arredondo, was treating the situation as one with a barricaded subject instead of an active shooter. Arredondo believed that no more lives were at risk at the time and wanted more equipment and officers before conducting a tactical breach. 12:10. A student in classroom 112 calls 911, reported multiple dead in the classroom. 12:15. Some members of the border patrol tactical unit arrived at the school with shields. 12:16. The same student from classroom 112 calls 911 again, reporting that 8 to 9 students are still alive in the classroom, which was good. Thank God. 12:19. Another student from the classroom 111 calls 911 but hangs up when another student tells her to end the call. 12:21. 3 shots are heard in a 911 call. 15 minutes later, 12:36. The same student from classroom 112 calls 911 again, reports that Ramos has shot a door. She is instructed to stay on the line and be very quiet. 12:43. A student in classroom 112 asks 911 to please send the police now. 12:46. Student in classroom 112 states that she can hear the police next door. 12:47. Student in classroom 112 asks 911 to please send the police again. Now. 12:50. Federal law enforcement uses the janitor's master key to unlock the door Ramos was in. They enter the classroom. Ramos, who was in the closet, kicks open the door, starts shooting. They open fire and kill him. I feel no sympathy for Ramos. Not at all. And you know what came out in the media recently? His fucking mother said that he was such a nice boy. She don't understand why he would commit an act like that, 18 years old. Something fucked up happened in his life. There's no fucking reason why this piece of goddamn dog shit should have been allowed to do any of this. And they got the name of the kids in here. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 kids. All aged 9, 10, and 11. And you got the teachers. Irma Garcia, 48, and Eva Morales, 44. The children were in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades. Teachers taught in the same 4th grade classroom. The hospital CEO reported that 11 children and 3 other people were admitted for emergency care following the shooting. 4 were released and 2, described as male and female, were dead upon arrival. Several other victims were taken to the University Hospital in San Antonio. 17 people were reported injured, including 2 police officers. The perpetrator. Oh, let's talk about this piece of shit. Yeah, let's talk about this piece of second. Salvador Rolando Ramos. Born May 16th, 2004. Shot to death like the fucking dog he is, May 24th, 2020. He had just turned 18. Born in North Dakota. He was a resident of Uvalde and a former student of Uvalde High School. He had neither a criminal record nor a documented mental health issues. Bullshit! No documented health issues? This motherfucker doesn't just turn 18 and said, oh, my life's over. Let me just go buy a couple guns and shoot up a fucking school. There's got to be more than this. According to his classmates and some of his friends, he had a stutter and a strong lisp. I talk like this. Today, Junior. So he did talk like he did have retard vocalization. Okay. That's how he talked, for which he was often bullied. There it is, right there. Dude was bullied. Dude was bullied for how he talked. Didn't I say that earlier on? Usually when it comes to a school shooting, it's usually somebody who is either has a fucked up home life or somebody who is bullied in school. That's always what it is. He frequently had fist fights with classmates, occasionally with boxing gloves, which he carried around with him, and he had a few friends. Ramos had expected to graduate from high school in 2022, but his frequent absences made him his graduation unlikely. He eventually dropped out of school. Social media acquaintances of Ramos said he openly abused animals such as cats and would live stream the abuse on Yubo. What the fuck is Yubo? Yubo is a French social networking app. Jesus Christ. So this motherfucker abused animals too. And the evidence is live streamed on a fucking website in France. This piece of shit is abusing animals and nothing has happened to him? And he would live stream it? Jesus Christ. Other social media acquaintances said that Ramos would also live stream himself on Yubo, threatening to kidnap and rape girls who used the app and threatened to commit a school shooting. Ramos's account was reported to Yubo, but no action was taken. Up until a month before the shooting, he worked at a local Wendy's, and he had been employed there for at least a year. According to the store's night manager, he went out of his way to keep to himself. One of his co-workers said he was occasionally rude to female co-workers to whom he sent inappropriate text messages and would intimidate co-workers at his job, asking them, "Do you know who I am?" A year before the shooting, Ramos started posting pictures to his Instagram account of automatic rifles that were on his wish list. According to a friend of Ramos, he would often drive around at night with another friend, shooting at strangers with BB guns and egging cars. According to a man who was in a relationship with his mother, Ramos moved out of his mother's house and into his grandmother's house 2 months before the shooting, after an argument broke out between him and his mother over her turning off the Wi-Fi. Yes, I am reading that right. This piece of garbage got into an argument with his mother over turning off the Wi-Fi in their house. He shoots his grandmother in the head over an argument of a fucking phone bill. And you mean to tell me that this piece of shit has no documented mental health issues? People close to Ramos' family described his mother as a drug user. There it is! There it is! His mother was a drug user and stated that Ramos and his mother argued frequently. He posted a video of himself on Instagram aggressively arguing with his mother and referring to her as a bitch. Ramos' mother described her son as not a monster, but admitted that he could be aggressive. His grandfather said that he did not have a driver's license and did not know how to drive. According to Ramos' father, Ramos has a girlfriend who lived in San Antonio. On May 14th, Ramos sent a private Instagram message reading 10 more days, to which the person responded, "Are you going to shoot up a school or something?" Ramos replied, "No, stop asking dumb questions. You'll see." In September 2021, Ramos asked his older sister to buy him a gun, but she flatly refused. Ramos legally purchased a Smith & Wesson assault-style semi-automatic rifle from a local gun store on May 17th, 2022, a day after his 18th birthday. There you go, Lycan. He did purchase it from a local gun store. How he was able to do it without having a background check done or anything, who knows? A day after his 18th birthday. And he purchased another rifle 3 days later. He also sent an Instagram message to the acquaintance he met through Yubu, which showed the receipt of the AR-15 style rifle purchased from Georgia-based online retailer Daniel Defense 8 days before the shooting. He did buy one of them from online. He did buy it from, he did get it online. He then posted a picture of the two rifles on Instagram account 3 days before the shooting. May 18th, he purchased 375 5.56 NATO rounds. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing that band for me. Thanks. Good. There's our answers right there. That's how he bought them. He bought one of them from a local gun store. The other one he purchased on an online retailer, Daniel Defense. And you're going to buy 375 rounds of 5.56. There's just so much to this story with him. There is. He got bullied in school because of the way he talked. There had to have been so much more, though. There had to have been so much fucking more, though. You know, he would get into fist fights and stuff like that. His mom was a fucking drug user and shit. He would get into arguments with his mom over turning off the internet in their house. He would get into an argument with grandma over fucking a phone bill. I bet the Daniel rifle got sent to the same gun shop. It probably did. Yeah, because you did say when you buy stuff online like that, they got to send them to the store to do the background check. But what's not being said here, because it's like I assume a background check for a firearm is what? It takes, what, 6 to 8 weeks or something, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But a background check for a firearm like that, it should be extensive, right? Like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that? 4 to 6, 6 to 8, something? No? I know with a handgun, I think a handgun is like 30 days. Oh, you're done in 15 minutes? Okay. But how fucked up is that, though? I just mentioned that, too. Because like you said earlier, when it comes to rifles and shotguns, they're different from handguns. Like a handgun, you got to be 21, 18 to buy an assault rifle or a shotgun or something like that. 15 minutes for the handgun, too? Damn. They must have changed that, because I remember like back in the day, like even on The Simpsons, they said there was like a 30-day wait period or something like that. I can't remember what that was about. I thought it was like a 30-day waiting period for handguns. My record has nothing on it. Yeah, if you have nothing on your record, yeah, that's true. Then again, this kid, 18 years old, still in high school, he just turned 18, he's buying these 2 guns. Where he got the money for the guns, who knows? He probably saved up his birthday money for the last 10 years. He probably saved up all his birthday money. Well, then again, it did say he worked at Wendy's too, so all that money coming from Wendy's also. Some states do, some states don't have a waiting period. That's what it is. Yeah, it depends on the state. It depends on the state. I think like Maryland, it's like 30-day waiting period or something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, some states do. But he bought the guns. He bought them, and he's posting shit on a foreign website, a French website. Let me look at Yubo, YUBO. It's a French social networking app designed to meet new people and create a sense of community. Oh, I bet they're going to catch a lot of fire after this shit. I bet they are. They have live streaming, Snap Camera, Inc., gender and pronouns. Oh, Christ. They do that fucking shit. U-Bucks, pixels, add by tag, communities, verified people. There's criticism about the security with it. Da-da-da-da. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, in 30 days, a guy stalking you that you need the gun to protect your family has already killed you. Exactly. I know. It's sad that how that shit comes down to. But this guy, it said he didn't have a criminal record. Okay, I can believe that. But to sit there and say that there's nothing documented about his mental health issues, somebody who gets bullied in school, like he never had a therapist. He never sought out therapy. His mother never sought out therapy for him or anything like that. But instead, you let this shit go, and this is what happens. This guy has a very disturbed individualism about himself. He's very fucking disturbed. And he's sitting there. He's torturing animals and shit. If you're under 18, it gets sealed when you turn 18. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, records are sealed until you turn 18. When he just turned 18, so they can undo those records and all. But still, I look at the history of it. This dude, he's got a history of being bullied because of how he talks and shit. He's getting into the fights. He had very few friends. He's talking about fucking, he's being very disturbed. He's a very disturbed individual. You're abusing animals on live streams and shit. And then you go on Instagram and you're talking about, oh, this is the gun I want. This is the gun I want. Like, that should have been a red flag right there. That kind of stuff should have been a red flag from the beginning, from the get-go. That kind of shit right there. This guy is posting this kind of stuff on a foreign webpage. His parents or his local police department should have been contacted. He's posting pictures of weapons on social media. Like, how many times in the past has that been a thing? Where people, it's very subtle. It's very subtle with certain people. It's happened in the past. How can you fucking not see that as a red flag? And then it gets this far. It gets too far. And then the shooting happens. And then there's red flags raised right there. I mean, yeah, there's nothing against posting pictures of weapons on Facebook and shit, I know, but somebody like him And let me see if I can reread whatever the fuck he was sending out subtle messages, text messages, stuff like, "Do you know who I am?" Like, what the fuck is that? He's posting pictures on Instagram, and then he's saying this, and then of course, you got his friends are saying, "Oh, he would drive around at night with another friend, shooting BB guns and egging cars and shit like that." Da 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 da. And then he's telling people that 10 more days, 10 more days. You'll see something's going to happen in 10 more days. Incredible. Fucking incredible. A aftermath. The UCISD asked parents not to pick up their children until all Robb Elementary students were accounted for. Around 2 p.m., parents were notified to pick up their kids. All district and campus activities were canceled, and the parents of the students at other schools were asked to pick up their children due to bus cancellations. That night, the UCISD superintendent announced in a letter sent to parents that the school year had concluded for the entire district, including the cancellation of the planned graduation ceremony. The school year had previously been scheduled to end that Thursday. Some parents had to wait late into the night for final confirmation of their children's death, awaiting DNA identification. Multiple survivors from the shooting have expressed their fear of returning to school. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center issued an urgent request for blood donations after the shooting, and it sent 15 units of blood to Uvalde via helicopter to be used in area hospitals. Uvalde Memorial Hospital held an emergency blood drive for the victims. On May 27, which was yesterday, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center reported that more than 2,000 people donated blood after the tragedy. In the wake of the shooting, Donna Independent School District, which serves Donna, Texas, an area 4.5 hours from Uvalde, received a credible threat of violence. In response, the district canceled school while it investigated the threat. Shortly after the shooting, a memorial was created outside the school for the victims and the survivors with balloons, candles, and crosses. A local man spent at least a day on creating 21 crosses, which were inscribed with the names of the victims to be placed outside the school. So you mean to tell me that right after all this shit, there was another incredible threat of violence? Wow. It's fucking sickening, man. It really fucking is. Our children spent almost 1.5 years out of school because of a fucking flu, a virus. Oh, the Democrats didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. Because school shootings is their money. That's what Mike said earlier. Follow the money. Follow the monies. It's all about finances. It's about them pushing an agenda to ban guns, period. To ban firearms. That's all it is. You got kids that are at home safe in their homes, learning, school activities through a fucking laptop. Yes, it's killing us parents because we got jobs, we got to work. We can't afford to fucking skip work so the kids can sit at home and learn. That's what schools are for. And then, of course, eventually they go back into schools. What happens? School shootings on the rise. Multiple shootings on the rise, possibly. And it's like, who's doing the background checks on these fucking people, on these fucking kids, on these fucking idiots that do this shit? Like, why do these people, these sick fucks, why do they think it's a game? Why do they think it's a game to shoot up a fucking school? It's a sick thing. It's not a game. This piece of shit has taken the lives, 20 fucking lives. Innocent children. Just like I look back on 2012. When all those children, those innocent 6 and 7-year-olds who were getting ready for Christmas break. murdered 11 days before Christmas. That's the saddest thing for me right there. That really is. That kind of thing. And they're all targeting fucking elementary schools. The investigation. The FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are assisting local police in the investigation. Ramos's guns and magazines were recovered by law enforcement for analysis. After initially praising first responders, yeah, okay. Governor Greg Abbott called for an investigation into the lack of initiative displayed by law enforcement. Okay, there's a typo there. It says, on May 27th, Abbott said, bottom line would be, why did they not choose the strategy that would have been best to get in there and eliminate the killer to rescue the children? That's what I say. That's why I say, why didn't these cops, why didn't Barney Fife, Andy Taylor, Roscoe Coltrane force their way in there? Oh, because somebody grazed their arm. Oh, God, somebody shot me in the arm. Oh, let's get out of here. Is that what happened? Oh, my God, this 18-year-old kid, he's firing a gun at us. Oh, let's get out of here. I've been on the force for 45 years. Oh, I'm a fucking pussy. Jesus Christ, veteran fucking cops. Let's go back to that post, shall we? The post that I posted a day or so ago. All right? Let's go back to this. The Parkland cops ran away. The Buffalo cop was killed instantly. The 3 cops at Uvalde were overpowered by a horde of 1, and then waited for almost an hour and a half outside the fucking school to enter it? So you mean to tell me that veteran cops repeatedly failed, but we're supposed to expect lunch lady Doris and school nurse Betty to stop a terrorist with an AR-15? That's what this kid was. He was a fucking terrorist. He is a fucking terrorist from hell. Confronting the shooter and the student's parents. Before the tactical units arrived, police officers inside the school, who numbered at least 19, made no effort to breach the room where Ramos was located, according to the DPS. According to them, the decision to wait for tactical units to arrive was based on the false belief that the shooter had been isolated in a classroom where he could do no more harm. This decision was made by Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Chief of Police Pedro Pete Arredondo. The incident commander of the response of the Robb Elementary School shooting. Akila Lacey of The Intercept wrote an article titled "Cops Didn't Stop the Uvalde Shooting" with the subtitle, "And They Might Have Made It Even Worse. The harrowing video from the scene seems that the police response all the more baffling. Police arrested and handcuffed one mother who drove to the school after hearing about the shooting, who prevented her from trying to save her children." At a May 26 press conference, when asked whether first responders had erred in waiting for reinforcements, DPS official said that he did not have enough information to answer that question yet. And of course, what was this? Daniel Rodriguez, police chief, defended his officers in a statement saying, "It is important for our community to know that our officers responded within minutes. We don't have all the particulars right now, but when gunfire is ringing out, police are trained, expected, and required to engage. This is our moral and ethical obligation." Well, your obligation. You failed with your obligation. These 3 sorry excuses for law enforcement chicken shitted their way out of that fucking school. They could have went in there and gunned that son of a bitch down. There's still kids in there that are alive. One of which was fucking gunned down while they were outside. They could have saved these kids. That shit just fucking sickens me. Ramos's parents, in response. Ramos's mother stated that she had no explanation for her son's attack on the school, but that Ramos had his reasons for doing what he did, and please don't judge him. I only want the innocent children who died to forgive me. His father, also named Salvador, expressed his apologies for his son's actions and stated, he should have just killed me, you know, instead of doing something like that. These are your fucking parents. These are the fucking parents of this sick, twisted piece of shit. Mommy Dearest, who's on drugs. He had his reasons for doing what he did. Don't judge him. He had his reasons for shooting up 20 kids and 2 teachers. He had his reason. Oh, please don't judge him. I just only hope that the innocent children who have died could forgive me. Fuck you! Fuck you and your fucking husband who just said he should have just killed me, you know, instead of doing what he did. So you're saying that he should have fucking pointed the gun at you. Like, what did you fucking do? I'm just now reading about his fucking father. What did he fucking do to say he should have just killed me, you know? How are you going to sit there and say he should just kill me? He had no reason to shoot at the school. He should have just killed me. And then you got the fucking mother saying, oh, he had his reasons to do what he did. He had his reasons. Please don't judge him. He's just a sad little boy. Okay, Mrs. Voorhees. So did fucking Jason. Yeah, I know Jason drowned in a fucking lake and all, but then... Jesus fucking Christ. Voorhees Ramos. Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to read up on the rest of it because it's stupid fucking Joe Biden bullshit. God damn, man. God damn. His mother just literally sat there and said, please don't judge him. He had his reasons. He did what he did. He had his reasons. I would only hope that they would forgive me. I forgive him. Nobody forgives you, you fucking whore. You fucking sorry excuse of a fucking cunt. Nobody fucking forgives you. This piece of shit who was torturing animals on a live stream. This piece of shit who had access to fucking buying weapons. This piece of shit who gets into an argument with you over turning off the internet and then gets into an argument with his grandmother over a fucking phone bill and then shoots her in the head. You want me to feel sorry for this? No. Nobody feels sorry for this piece of fucking garbage. Nobody. And nobody has any sympathy for you, you fucking cunt. Jesus fucking Christ. Whole thing makes me fucking sick. And let me end this before it hits the 3-hour mark, guys. Let me end it with this thing here. I have a bit to say about this shit, okay? So 2 days after the shooting happened, this piece of fucking Nazi shit, Obama, comes out on Twitter. And it's a legit tweet. It's a legit tweet thanks to my uncle. My uncle shared this with me, and it pissed me off equally the way it did him. Shared a fucking tweet. I'm gonna read it to y'all. I'm gonna read it to y'all. This shit is sickening. It's very fucking sickening. If I can find it. Okay. So this tweet from Barack Obama, one of the country's worst fucking presidents aside from fucking Joe Biden. As we grieve the children of Uvalde today, we should take the time to recognize that 2 years have passed since the murder of George Floyd under the knee of the police officer. His killing stays with us to this day, especially those who loved him. Fuck George Floyd. Fuck George Floyd. He was a fucking career criminal, a fucking drug abuser, a fucking woman beater, who passed off an illegal fucking fake $20 fucking bill. He committed a felony. He committed several fucking crimes. Fuck George Floyd. May that piece of shit rot in hell where he's at. I don't give a fuck about any of them motherfuckers. Because a lot of them are fucking career criminals. No police officer is going to randomly target you and make you a fucking victim. You did the fucking crime. You resisted arrest. You resisted arrest. Now, I agree. The police officer that did him in Yes, he deserves jail time because did Floyd deserve to die? No. But do I fucking care about George Floyd anymore? No, he's a piece of fucking shit. Why should anybody be reminded of that piece of fucking shit? Because let me ask you this. Does anybody remember or memorialize Rodney King? How about Martin Luther King? How about Malcolm X? How about any other political figure that had an importance in our fucking culture? Did they get any kind of recognition? No. Only this sad, sickened piece of fucking shit, George Floyd, gets all this recognition. And then this piece of fucking shit who had the nerve to call himself our president for 8 years is going to sit there and say, as we grieve the fucking 20 kids or the 19 kids that died today, we should recognize, we should take a moment to recognize that 2 years has gone by since George Floyd has been murdered. Oh yeah, how about happy 2-year anniversary of George Floyd for being drug-free and not assaulting any women or passing fake money or committing any of the crimes. Thank you to the Jeff Hagee Show for providing that. My boy Jeff said that. Happy 2-year anniversary to this career criminal who is being drug-free. Fuck George Floyd. You're going to ignore the fact that a sick piece of shit, 18-year-old little motherfucking bastard who deserves to rot in hell for all eternity, who shot 19 children. Are you telling me that George Floyd is more fucking important than that? Sick fucking bastard. Same thing with fucking Biden. I'm pretty sure he said the same fucking shit, only his thing is, we need stricter gun control. We need stricter gun control. We need, nobody needs a fucking gun. Yeah, well, get ready, because we're about to overthrow the fucking government. It's within our constitutional rights, so be prepared for that, you piece of fucking shit, too. But I gotta say, guys, this whole thing is sickening. It's very fucking sickening with what these fucking people did. And this recent shooting has proved it. And political figures are using it as a pawn to push their agendas. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that I want to say about it, but we're hitting a 3-hour mark. This was extra length today, and I got to head off. I got to get some stuff done, guys. But really, thank you guys for joining in today. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, as always. I know my buddy Mike, he's watching the convoy going on, so yeah. I was soloing it today, but I hope I did a good job entertaining you guys, getting that truth out there. Stay tuned. Follow up on our Facebook page at Arrow WAN 2022 on Facebook for updates on when we're going to be streaming and what we're going to be streaming next. If you guys are on TikTok, come on over and follow us on TikTok at Arrow_entertainment, where we upload a lot of different gameplay clips over there now, and I'm going to start doing a few little videos over there as well, so you can follow us on there as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button right there, and if you're watching us on twitch.tv/arrowwithaname, hit that follow button, and stay tuned. We got some more content coming up for you this coming week. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and until next time, stay tuned in.